time again. It is the time. It is the place. It is Sunday night whenever I get my shit together, or probably more Monday morning.
Is grease the word?
Let's be honest.
Doing?
Yes, grease is the word. We're all getting our grease lightning on, and by grease lightning I mean we are going to take these trailers and race them down those canals in Los Angeles in a very dangerous fashion. That means it's time to welcome everybody back to the RageSelect podcast. Here at RageSelect, I'm Jeff,
and I'm Mike.
That was a really weird way to say that, and I'm sorry. We're getting off on a real good foot.
I have grease on the mind.
We got a hell of a show. We got there were a lot of announcements. We had Nintendo Direct. We got a Monster Hunter. We got Digimon. We got everything.
I heard they're digital monsters, Jeff.
They are.
They are the champions.
I don't know anything about Digimon. I mean, they just look like
I know the beginning of Digimon. That's it.
They just look like when you went to the grocery store as a kid and they had like a pack of like off-brand Mexican G.I. Joe guys. They look like a pack of off-brand Mexican like Pokemon. It's like, Mom, can I get Pokemon? We have Pokemon at home. It's Digimon.
I discovered my girlfriend might love them because of one trailer that came out.
Yeah, she
sent it to me randomly. Goes, "Oh, you're about to find out how annoying I could be."
Oh no!
And I saw that, and I'm just like, Digimon.
Oh no, you're dating a Digimon fan.
That surprises me. Not because I don't like Digimon, but because I stopped Digimon like at season 2, and that was it. I don't know what happens after that.
It's really weird. I get the impression that it's like, well, okay, what if Pokemon were dinosaurs, but what if they were also robots? But then what if they were also just kind of like some dudes, like some hot ladies?
Well, that's the thing about Digimon that was always funny is that Digimon don't work the way Pokemon do. Like when you look at a Pikachu, and a Raichu, you're like, they're all an electric mouse.
Right.
That makes sense. You look at a Digimon, you're like, well, that thing looks like a piece of poop.
Right.
A cat and then a sexy angel lady.
Right.
And you're like, how did we get to sexy angel lady and then sexy angel lady with armor?
Okay.
And you're like, I'm confused now.
We got to move off of this because the Digimon fans have already started the downvotes. Matt Frank is just personally downvoting this video
probably.
right now.
They're after us now. They're riding a T-Rex that turns into a cat or something.
We have a lot. But before we get to all the lots that we have, I told you what I was going to talk about today, but I'm not going to talk about Severance. Severance season 2 is rad, and everybody should watch it.
Oh yes, people should watch Severance
because. I decided what I really wanted to talk about this week because I don't know that I've ever really brought it up before. I think I've mentioned it in passing. Mm-hmm. I want to give an enthusiastic recommendation to fucking Solo Leveling. Like,
okay.
I don't think this is a mystery to anime fans, but the thing is, I figured it occurred to me finally what Solo Leveling is. So Solo Leveling, for anybody who doesn't know, is based off of a Korean light novel, and it's set in the modern day, and it turns out that there's just like people have become superhero hunters, and they have like these MMO powers, and then like all over the world these gates will open up and monsters just come out of them, and the hunters, they have to kill the monsters, they have to go into the gates, but also there's like shit in the gates that sells that there's like magic crystals that like fuel new technology.
So when they hunt, they also get the crystals out of the gates.
So it's like being a Korean story, it's like there's a lot of like wealth disparity in there. A little bit about like you've got these organizations, like these corporations that have teams of hunters. So it's not like a Japanese anime where you're going to Hunter High School, right? Yeah. Normally you would go to Hunter High School.
There's some sort of like academy team or something,
right?
It's like a My Hero thing,
right?
Usually,
but in this one, the kind of the premise of the show is that everybody, when they get their superpowers, they get ranked in like a certain like rank, like from crappy to fucking amazing, right? F through S or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't change it. There's no changing. And then the main character, the whole point of the show is that something happens to the main character. It happens in the first episode. It's really grotesque and violent because, again, this is a Korean light novel. Mm-hmm. And this one guy gets the ability to level up. Like, that's the point of the show. But then also, it's weird because he gets like the MMO... He gets like screens that come up that only he can see. There's like, you've leveled up. Like, where do you want to put your points and stuff like that? And it is unclear why only this one guy can do this and what's going on. And there's like a bunch of weird stuff that happens in the background about like, it's the windows are called like the system, and like every time he tries to find out more about the system, like he'll ask, there's a point where he asks like a monster about it, and when he tries to tell him, the monster's like face glitches out and he can't understand what they're saying. So there's like some weird stuff going on, but that's not what's important. What's important is the fact that it is like It is an amazingly animated show done by production IG, and every episode is like, can our hero defeat these monsters? They're even more powerful than last time. And the answer is yes. Yes, he definitely can. But as long as you have the ability to suspend your disbelief in anime terms and watch, the fight scenes are fucking off the goddamn charts. Like, they are so cool. And there's like one every episode. Like, it's not even like we've got to build up, you know? There's like 3 episodes in the entire 2 seasons where there's not like a fight scene of some sort. And yeah, it's great. And so I was thinking about it a lot, and what I realized was Solo Leveling is One Punch Man, but serious. Like, it's a much more serious One Punch Man than just being like a gag. It's like, well, what if the strongest guy was here and he kept beating everybody up, but like it's also dark and bloody and violent and just fucking like ridiculous. So
no, I've heard really good things for the most part. Either there were like large gaps in between episodes or something like that. Is that what was going on?
I don't think so. I mean, there was like that. I think there was a bit of a gap between the first season and the second season.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
But once it got going, and what was really weird was I actually thought it was over because episode 24 aired last week. But there are 13 episodes in season 2, and I'm like, what? No, it's either 12 or 24. It's not 13.
Well, that's pretty rare.
But yeah, I think it's great. Like, I think it's really great. It's like the action is just, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like it's kind of one of the things that you like to go to anime for because it's really just, you know, you get these scenes where it's like every time anybody hits each other, everything explodes, and then eventually they'll just turn into lines that are just going around destroying the world, and things are just blowing up and exploding, and there's a million sword slashes, and I just jump off my couch and go, yeah, bitch, yeah! So, like, you know, Michael, if like me, some of you find that you may be low on serotonin and that nothing in the world matters anymore, and that it's hard to find any pleasure or enjoyment, I will say that Solo Leveling is an over-the-top, it's not a deep anime. It's not toying with what life is about. It's more just like, you want to watch this one dude fucking house everything? And it's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I do. And everybody else is just like, well, that guy, he can't be that powerful, can he? And it's like, yes, he can.
He looks like a Devil May Cry character.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think I think you would be just fucking, I think you would really like this show.
No, I've always heard really good things. I just, I haven't really been keeping up with a lot of things nowadays.
Yeah. But I mean, the fact that it's only 24 episodes right now, or 25, I guess,
that's
at the end of the season.
Not too bad. Yeah.
I haven't seen the last episode yet. It'll be out the day before this podcast comes out.
Oh, okay.
But this anime was so good that it comes out on Saturdays, and I watch my anime on Fridays. But last week I was like, oh, it's a season finale. I'm just gonna fucking watch it right now. I'm not waiting another week for this shit.
That's fair. I get it. Yeah, that looks really cool. I get it.
Yep. It's fucking cray cray. I'm showing him the final fight from season 2, which is just redonkulous. Oh, it hasn't even gotten to the most redonkulous part yet. It's crazy, and it's really well animated too. Like, that's one of the things. Like, I've loved Sakamoto Days, but like, I wish Sakamoto Days was animated the way that this is animated.
That's the only other thing I'm keeping up with at the moment is Sakamoto Days.
Yeah.
That's just because my girlfriend got me into it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great show too. It's real fun.
Yeah, that one's just a fun one.
100 Girlfriends has been great. 100 Girlfriends is back. That one's really fun. Dr. Stone came back. It's really fun. Like, that's what I've been watching for the most part. Anyway, enough of that. We'll have enough exploding lasers happening later on in the show. Maybe, but probably not as good as this. What about you, Michael? What have you been watching? What have you been doing?
So I read the newest in the Absolute universe. Actually, 2 things that are the newest the Absolute universe.
Oh, is this? Wait, didn't you talk about this last time?
No, these are the 2 new like actual character ones because I told you about the Batman one and I think the Superman one.
You talking about the Flash, right?
No, I mentioned the Flash one, but the Martian Manhunter one came out.
Oh God, I don't even want to know what.
It's super surreal. It's about this, like, he's like an FBI agent who's caught in an explosion.
What do they call it? Extreme?
Just Absolute. It's like Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Okay,
and this one is super fucking trippy because you never really see like Like he's never like an alien. He's just like it's like a thing in his head that looks like a really psychedelic looking Martian Manhunter.
Oh shit! Okay,
and it's fucking fascinating.
All right,
and it's just about this like cop who, this FBI guy. He starts like hearing people's thoughts.
John Jones,
and he's like, and
Whoa.
yeah, basically, and he's like really cold and efficient and stuff. Like his wife's just like, you just got out of an explosion, and like you should take some time off. He's like, oh, I'll tell them that we should. And his boss is like, I want you to take time off. He's like, I don't want to. He's like, oh, I have to solve crimes, man. And so he's just like, are you sure you're okay? He's like, of course. And there's just this really surreal thing about this guy. It's like maybe he's the Martian Manhunter. Maybe it's in his head. We're not really,
not really clear. Is psychic, right? So it could just be that he's being influenced.
And so he's psychic right now because he's starting to hear people's thoughts, but he doesn't realize that per se. But he's seeing him as these like psychedelic clouds sometimes.
Huh.
Because he's in like a doctor's office after the explosion, and he tries to smoke. They're like, "Well, there's no smoking allowed in here." It's like, "Well, why is it so fucking smoky in here?" And then it shows like his vision. It's all these like colorful clouds and stuff, and it's fucking fascinating.
This is like the opposite of everything you've told me about the Absolute Universe.
Yes, it's the most weird, like surreal one of them all.
This is like Grant Morrison's Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, exactly. It's really
Mike
cool.
Aldred's Martian Manhunter.
Because the Absolute Flash one I like quite a bit as well. Because that one's also very different, but different in the fact that it's like, you know, it's different in the idea that he it's like a different origin and stuff. Like it's a 15-year-old Wally West. He's the first Flash. Barry Allen is just like a mentor type guy, and the Rogues seem to be like working for this company or some shit.
Okay.
And so, but the Martian Manhunter one just blew me away. Dude, I'm like, this is fucking weird.
You know what? I love the way, I mean, I know that in the comics, like John Johns, when he's like, he has like the kind of more humanoid version and he has the more alien version. I love this like crazy 1960s fucking French New Wave.
Yeah.
Like a version of him.
Fascinating. Like there's this great scene at one point, it was in the preview, so where he's like, because he has a kid too, because he's married and he has a kid.
Yeah.
And he's talking to his son who's made these clay figures of the family. He's like, this is great. Where's the one of me? And it's he made that fucking psychedelic looking Martian.
Oh, is that what that little clay guy was?
And he's like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's fascinating.
This thing right here.
Yeah, because the son makes it.
Okay.
And so it's just fucking absolutely insane.
Wow.
And I love it. And they've already they've extended it further for because it was supposed to be like a smaller amount of issues, but apparently they extended the amount of issues it has because it was so well received. And between this and Absolute Flash and how much I'm really liking Absolute Superman, and how fucking ridiculous Absolute Batman is, and Absolute Wonder Woman, I'm like, this is really interesting. But like for some reason, I'm like, I really like this universe because unlike the New 52. Where it was just like, well, so a lot of it's the same, but there's like a little thing. They're like, no, this thing is batshit insane. This whole
totally
universe is insane. Like they finally showed that Clark Kent or not Clark, but I don't know if he's Clark Kent at this point. That Cal, when he made it to Earth, he was already like 12 or something like that. Like there's a lot of crazy shit, and there's this like crazy stuff that went on in his backstory. And Batman he punted a kid.
I mean, you know, as somebody who used to read DC more often, I can say I think that DC had more interesting Elseworld stuff.
Yes.
Like the Marvel What If stuff, I mostly just remember the gag ones, like or the super over the top ones like zombies or like what if Punisher kills the Marvel universe or those kind of things. But like I think that like if let me put it this way. Can you name a what if that was like as impactful even to people as like Red Sun, as like Superman Red Sun? Because that's like one of the that's not only one of the best like what if stories I've read, but it's like one of the best Superman stories I've ever read.
Well, yeah, because Marvel doesn't really, when they do what ifs, they're very short. They're just like they're like single issues,
right?
And usually somebody dies that you're just like, isn't it shocking they died? I'm like,
right,
not really. Like I know this is a what if, and it's like one issue usually, And usually their what ifs were just like, what if Spider-Man died over and over again?
Or like, isn't that where that horrible like, what if Miles Morales was Thor stuff?
That was another series of what ifs they made, where it was just what if Miles Morales was like different characters.
Yeah,
and the guy for what if Thor was that poor writer. He that guy got fucked on that whole thing.
Yeah,
but it was very bad. It was very bad. I have that guy on my Facebook friends list. I met him. He's a friend of Corey's.
Oh, okay.
He's a friend of a few other people I know. I think, but he's a nice enough guy. But I was very like, I was like, I remember I ran into him again after that issue came out. I was like, I'm not gonna bring it up. Just don't fucking bring it up.
I'm sure he's tired of talking about it.
That poor guy.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah, read the Absolutely Serious guys. It's
boy,
great.
we're really living up to the dork moniker this week. I'm recommending anime, and you're recommending comic books, and they're both about weird superheroes. So let's get back to our roots and talk about Nintendo Switch Direct. Spoiler ahead of time. No Switch 2 news. Kinda. They said no Switch 2 news, but there's something at the very end. There's actually 2 or 3 things in here that I'm like, you said no Switch 2, but like
that's very close.
Are you sure? Because there's a little thing. There's something at the very end that I really want to talk about. But let's just get into it. We're going to take this one a pretty good clip. Which, for RageSelect means we'll only be an hour over instead of 25 minutes. This is kind of the last gasp of stuff for the original Switch. I'm sure there'll be games for the original Switch moving forward, but like, I'm sure that once the Switch 2, well, like there were a lot of June and July like announcements in here.
Yeah, that was the thing I noticed about it.
And I was like, oh, okay, so that shit's coming out late July or early August, and all these games are going to be like on there as well. You're just doing double duty, but just glossing over the fact that I said duty. We started with Dragon Quest 1 and 2
I wasn't going to say anything.
remake DLC. This is just a trailer for the DLC we knew was coming for the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. This one adds Dragon Quest 1 and 2 into the mix, which is weird because I don't know, I kind of want to play the Dragon Quest 1 one just because that's like I don't remember, I didn't play 2 or 3 all that much, but when I was like 12 I played Dragon Quest 1 and it kicked my ass. And then years later I beat it on an emulator by just like jacking up the speed and grinding.
I see.
Like grinding at light speed at like 12x speed.
That makes sense.
Until I could one-shot everything in the game. Then I went one-shot the Dragon Lord. But maybe I'll play it legit this time.
Well, that's the thing. When we were younger, we played these RPGs, and you're just like, if I hit attack enough times, it'll die.
Yeah.
Not really thinking about stats and stuff like that.
Nobody
just
taught
never
me.
Occurred to it.
Nobody taught me that shit.
I still have a hard time with it sometimes.
Game didn't teach me. I was just like, why can't I beat this dragon? And it never occurred to me that I'd have to go back and fight the same dudes over and over again. Yeah. I was like, I don't know. It said I leveled up at one point.
It's like, maybe if I just walk far enough, that I would just get to the guy before these guys keep fucking with me.
Yeah.
Not realizing that was what the point was.
Like, just the concept of leveling up is now so ubiquitous that it was my fucking intro anime. But when I was a 12-year-old, there was nobody who explained to me, like, no, you have to do this to get more powerful. And it was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like,
yeah, no one tells you these things when you're a kid.
You just have to say that out loud to basically a child who has only played like a handful of video games in their entire life.
That's why all new games tell you, like, as if you are a 12-year-old, that you should level up.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't complain about the one and then also complain about it's my right as the guy who runs RageSelect to complain about every stupid damn thing I want. So.
Exactly.
Anyway, I forgot. Did we get a release date for that? Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what day it was.
Where was it? Yeah, go back. Oh, there.
Oh, it's just 2025.
Okay,
I thought it did for some reason.
So not a specific release date. From there, we had the weirdest. This is weird.
It's a very strange one.
A spin-off game for the Somnium Files, or
I think it's a sequel to it. I think this for some reason they just isn't called Somnium Files 2.
Yeah,
because we played that first one and we really liked it. That's the thing.
Yep.
And I remember seeing this trailer going,
is this? Is this that?
This is that. Exactly. And I was like, this is that fucking weird ass game we played.
Yeah.
Well, there was more to it than I thought.
I don't think it's an actual full sequel. I think it's smaller, which is why it's being done as a spinoff. Because there's like an idol named Kaname Date, and the game is literally called No Sleep for Kaname Date. AI the Somnium Files.
Well, I think the detective was Kaname Date, whereas Iris was the name of the idol or something that's missing.
Oh.
But,
okay.
Yeah, because his name's Date. Yeah.
Oh.
And I remember us really liking that whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's crazy that, like, I didn't know the game did well enough to get more of it because we weren't sure that would happen. And I'm actually kind of happy that it did.
I don't know how these games get funded. They must be cheap as shit to make. Like, they must be made really on the cheap. Because for anybody who doesn't remember, this is the game where the guy is a detective that has a waifu for a left eye that like he can see, but then he goes into people's dreams to solve like violent murders.
Yeah, he uses the dreams thing to like solve crimes that he's being detective-y for.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it was really funny too when we played it.
It was very strange. And this is just like a kind of out of nowhere one where it's like, oh, a sequel to one of the weirdest games that we played.
And I kind of like that. I'm happy for them.
Yeah. That's coming out July 25th. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see. From there, we got Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army, which is a remaster of this game called Raidou Kuzunoa. It's like a devil summoner thing. It's like the guy.
It's definitely just another one of the Persona type games that Atlas makes.
Except that it's like a third person action game. It's like the Pokemon Arceus of devil summoner games.
I can see that.
I went and looked it up, and it's like the original. You summon guys, and then it's like you fight alongside of them in this kind of third person action mode, and then in between you walk around. But it's like old Japan. It's like
I forget they
Edo
said
period or something
the year,
like that.
But it's like it's such a specific Japanese type way of saying the year that I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Right. Like the Taisho period or something. I don't know.
It says something 12 or some shit like that, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, dude.
Taisho 20. Yeah.
But it's very like fun looking, but it's got all it's got some of the common demon type things you see in all of the games that Atlas has made. It's specifically Jack Frost. That dude's in every one of those fucking games.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize some of these demons. And then also, it's like, it's kind of a third-person game where you're running around, and, like, they show some places where you can use specific devils to, like they show Jack Frost and being able to, like, freeze a little canal so you can run across it. Yeah. To do, like, kind of navigation puzzles throughout the world. I mean, I don't know. It's basically like Dark Detective Pikachu, like, except it's actually got like a third person action kind of fighting thing to it. It's got pretty decent style.
Yeah.
It's just these things are always such a goddamn investment that I can't see myself. I mean, I've tried with so many Devil Summoner games, like so many games that aren't. I didn't even beat Persona 5 for God's sake. Like
that game is so long, guys. And then they made a longer version of it.
Well, yeah, but now I just got done playing that Kingdom Come game. It was 225 hours long, and I'm like 90-hour Persona. Well, that's no fucking problem.
Yeah, right. It was probably a lot shorter than those current
I could
ones.
only ruin my life for a week instead of 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But yeah, this looks. This is all right. Like, I'm sure it'll appeal to fans of the franchise.
Yeah, if you like those sorts of games, or if you just like Atlas, really, you're gonna like it because Atlas—that's half of what Atlas makes.
Yeah, that's coming out June 19th. From there, we got a look at that weird ass Pac-Man spinoff, Shadow Labyrinth.
I almost forgot what this was until they started showing things off again.
Until they started showing Pac-Man.
It wasn't until he fucking turned into a robot.
Oh yeah,
that I had forgot that was the thing. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't think he turned into a big robot in the Amazon short.
No, but I mean, like, because I think they showed it in one of the other trailers.
Oh, okay.
And I had forgotten that because I just remembered the little guy and him eating things and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know he fucking transformed into a giant mech that ate things through its ass.
Right. Also, they show a little bit of like there are areas where you can like turn on like an energy field that puts a blue line on the walls, and then you could turn into Pac-Man and just go along the walls like a Pac-Man.
Yeah, because it's like the blue maze walls. It's just fucking like the more I learn about this game, the weirder it fucking gets.
I'm really interested in this game, Michael. I really want to play this game. I can't wait to see what the fuck is happening here because we got a giant Pac mech, and then we also
Gaia mech or some shit.
We have the thing from the Amazon show where it's like the giant dark Pac-Man with like the ooze and the big it's like, you guys, I mean, hey, you know what? I'm glad. This is like what was the DC thing? Ultimate? No.
The Absolute stuff,
Absolute.
yeah.
It's like Absolute Pac-Man, right?
It really is.
Of just like, I don't know.
The giant demon Pac-Man.
Yep.
And I'm just like, how did somebody come up with this?
What I love about it is it's like, Bandai Namco must have looked at the balance sheet for the last like 3 Pac-Man things they released, and they're just like, nobody gives a shit about Pac-Man anymore. Give it to anybody and let them do whatever the fuck they want to with it.
There's one guy in the corner who's like, I got this great fucking fucked up idea about Pac-Man.
What if Pac-Man was a robot demon that turned into a mech?
And he's been telling people this for like 20 years.
Yep.
And they're just like, there he goes again.
Do it. Give it to him.
And then they just let it happen.
Yep. It's fucking nuts.
It's fucking insane looking.
It's fucking nuts. I love it. It's nuts and I love it.
It comes out sooner than I thought.
July 18th. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're getting ready to be in April, and then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to Summer Games Fest.
Yeah.
And then Grand Theft Auto 6 is out, and then it's fucking 2026, and I'm going, where's my life? This is not my beautiful house. Oh, boy. Michael, from there, we Patapon and Patapon 2 coming to Switch. I have decided, after looking at both Patapon and that Tapaton or whatever that other one was that I showed you a little while back.
Wasn't that also on the Switch or something like that?
No, I think I was coming to more consoles than just the Switch.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to play Patapon. I don't think I ever did. I think that they like sold me a bill of goods that this was going to rule, and then I played it and I was like, no, I don't want to play it.
Well, it's the kind of game that's like a perfect handheld game, which was the idea at the time.
Yeah.
Which is just something that you don't really have to focus on that badly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't know. If they like remastered it and it was like... there was a little bit better. I don't know. Like I remember playing Patapon, and when it was easy, it was too easy, and when it was hard, I couldn't keep up with what the fuck was happening.
Yeah.
So, it just never really worked for me. Give me what's that other game? What's that PSP game where you play as the slime where they sing? Where you split apart into the little ones.
The problem is they all fucking sound the same to me.
Yeah. Schmatashman.
Panjan Jinju.
See, slime game. No, Blob. Blob would be better. Blob.
No, it's not Katamari. It's something else.
Game.
Catapon?
PSP.
I don't know.
Loco Roco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Give me a Loco Roco remake and because there was like a Loco Roco level in Astrobot, right?
There was, yeah.
And they sang a little song and it was great.
Because that was a fun time. I remember liking those games, actually. Those games were pretty fun.
Yep. Let's see. From there, we got Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, which apparently is, I think this is like a remake of like a 3DS game from a long time ago, or like an original DS game.
I wouldn't be surprised, but it's basically just one of those, whatchamacallit, moon ones? Or what are they called? Harvest Moon.
Harvest Moon.
It's like a Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley type game.
No, that team split, and half of them make Harvest Moon, and the other half make Story of Seasons. So,
okay, so it's just the same genre.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then it's just I was right then.
It's just that. It's just another farming game, and like
you can get married in it.
I think the big thing here is that there's like a bazaar mechanic, not like Bizarre, not like JoJo, but like a bazaar where you buy stuff, and they're like, you're going to reinvigorate this town's bazaar, and I'm like, this is not. I'm not want to pay money and use my spare time to do this. I'm set up a lemonade stand in front of my house if I want to reinvigorate the bazaar.
This is the only way you're going to get married, Jeff. Is in the bazaar.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Like it looks fine and everything, but just the whole. You just think RageSelect generally when it comes to farming games is like, okay, that's cool. I'm happy for you. No, thank you.
Well, yeah, every time we see more of these games, the more we're just like, who really does play these? But then we have to remember there's a large subsection of gamers that aren't like, shooters type gamers or even platform type gamers. They play the cozy ones.
Yep. August 27th is when that's coming out. Let's see. From there, we got some Metroid Prime 4 Beyond footage.
Yes, finally. And now we found out she's got new stuff.
Do you think that what we're seeing is running on a Nintendo Switch? Or is it running on a Nintendo Switch 2?
Honestly, I think a lot of it's running on a Nintendo Switch 2.
Because it looks like it's running on Nintendo Switch 2 to
There's
me.
a lot of really nice moments in it that I feel like a Switch would not keep up with.
Some lighting and textures that I'm like,
no, yeah. There's a lot of moments that I'm like, there's no way that's working on a normal Switch the way it is there.
So mostly this is just like, we don't see a whole hell of a lot of action or anything. It's mostly just kind of Samus walking around this new planet Vuros. looking at stuff. The HUD looks very similar. I'm glad the map is on screen. I never played Prime 3, so I don't know if this is directly what happens after the end of Prime 3.
Yeah, Prime 3 was a Wii only game at the time. It had a lot of motion controls, so I remember. I don't know anyone who actually really did play 3.
Yeah, I wanted to play it, but I just didn't want to play with motion controls, and that won out in the end.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate thing about it.
So, but this is great. I mean, it looks like Metroid Prime, man. It looks like a lot of Metroid Prime.
It does. They announced the new power that she's got.
Psychic powers.
She's psychic now.
They got psychic
and
powers.
My favorite part about the psychic thing was you can control your beam.
Yep.
In midair, and I'm like, that's kind of fun, but also. It's terrifying because that means that's going to be used for puzzles, probably.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to like drive that beam. You're gonna have to fucking remote pilot that missile through a bunch of grates and shit.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun time, is all I'm saying. Maybe it depends on what happens.
Yeah,
because people who 100% things, you're gonna have to deal with some shit. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
but it looks great.
It looks great. Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, the the fucking sniper elite. Like bullet bending is pretty cool.
It's really cool, actually. It's my favorite thing about the trailer so far.
I mean, nothing in this. This trailer didn't raise any red flags with me. Like,
no,
looks like a big alien planet.
She then talks to somebody who's calling her the chosen one.
Yeah,
and all I could think of was that fucking movie where they're like chosen one.
All I could think of was I was like, no, it's pronounced Chozo one. Yeah, like again, no red flags here. Everything here looks like you're going to be on a jungle planet, and then there's some teases about like the return of some familiar faces, but also there's some big old crazy monster bosses, and Samus getting a bunch of powers. Oh, and then at the very end we see like a slightly different suit, which I really liked because I wanted Samus to have more. I want the suit to be more of a thing. That's why I like Fusion so much.
It's definitely a really interesting one because that's the thing is the Metroid Prime universe has always been there's never been like that interesting when it came to the suits, I felt, compared to the other ones, but I actually really like this thing's design.
I like the way the coloring, it's weird. It's kind of this one big stripe that kind of goes down the middle and then these kind of accents on the side. Yeah. It definitely fits in with the normal suit, but it looks cool and new and different. And so, kudos, man. Like, I'm glad you guys have spent 1 billion years making this. It looks like a fun game and I can't wait to play it.
I still can't believe it's been this long, but it's coming out pretty soon now at this point.
Did they actually have a full-on release date for it?
I could have sworn they did.
Well, did they?
But it might have been crazy.
2025? I think it was just 2025.
I think it was just this year, but that's the thing is that we know it's coming out.
Yes.
Because before we had nothing for what, 10 years? That's what it felt like.
It's been a long time. So, Nintendo teases that shit way too early. They had
to scrap it and remake it apparently.
Yes. So, that game had some problems. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Disney Villains Cursed Cafe was next on the list.
So, Jeff, no one drinks tea like Gaston.
He just opens the top and then just dumps it directly. No,
yeah.
He puts his mouth all the way around the teacup, and it's very strange to watch.
He uses it while he eats his eggs.
That's right. He just dunks his eggs in the tea. Yeah, this is like some kind of visual novel. Like, it's like that coffee and whatever. It's like, oh, you're serving coffee and tea and stuff to a bunch of Disney villains.
Yeah, and they're all like friends, but they're all dressed like normal people, I guess is the best way of putting it.
I don't know. Some of them,
because Gaston looks like a fucking tennis instructor.
Yeah, he does. And I don't know. It's very weird. I guess there's been a kind of like a weird renaissance of like doing Disney villain stuff like this, I guess. But
Disney's been pushing their villain stuff again for some reason.
Yeah,
whether it's that or this or Fortnite.
I don't know, but it's all just like 2D. It's just pictures on top of pictures, and it was also, and it's out today. So
and it has different like outcomes or something too, depending on what happens. So
yeah,
if you like those sorts of things, I'm sure you'll have fun with it.
Let's see. From there, we got Witchbrook, which is some kind of like it's from Chucklefish, and it's like a little isometric, pixel-based magic school. You're going to magic school, do magic school stuff.
You're a wizard or whatever.
Yep, and I don't know. It's one of those.
I don't really know what to say about it. I remember even when I watched it, I'm like, what is happening? I don't really know.
It looks like there's going to be like, it's kind of like The Sims, sort of, but you're like making friends. You can play it with your buddies. You guys can go have an adventure. Hooray. Sure. It's got very nice graphics.
Yeah.
The fact that it's coming out holiday 2025 to me is just like you're gonna go up against fucking Grand Theft Auto. I mean, like
They're
I'm not
going
saying
against a lot of things.
I'm not saying that you have the same like I'm not saying that this game has the same audience as Grand Theft Auto, but like a lot of people are gonna be playing Grand Theft Auto.
And what's for the 12-year-olds that can't play Grand Theft Auto?
That's true. That only have a Nintendo Switch.
Exactly.
We got the Eternal Life of Goldman.
This actually was one of the only other things that really excited me.
Oh, really?
Because it's got this
like DuckTales.
Yeah, it's got this this great like Kane idea, these Kane mechanics.
Yep.
And he just looks like a fun little dude.
I've actually watched trailers for this like a bunch of times before. Like this has been announced for a while.
Yeah, I remember you showing me this, if I remember.
It's like a really nicely hand animated 2D platformer, like side scroller that with some heavy ass DuckTales shit because it's definitely got like this Kane pogo thing going on. Looks fun. I don't know. Looks fun. Also, I like the fact that the main character's an old man.
That is a fun thing about it.
Let's see. Konami's got another big collection for us. Gradius Origins, which has what? Gradius 2 Life Force or Gradius Salamander Life Force, which is Gradius 2. Or no, Gradius 2.
It's got a bunch of random things, really.
And then Gradius 3, and then Salamander 2. And then apparently, like, they've got all the different versions. And then apparently they've got, like, Salamander 3, which has not yet been... It's like a new game.
Yeah.
So...
They were like, the super interesting Salamander 3. And I'm like, cool, I guess.
I don't know.
Question mark?
I like the Life Force games because of the whole option mechanic. But then I got old and I can't play them anymore, so... But, hey, you know what? Konami's got another big collection. They've been doing a good job with those.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're a fan of those, have a great time. Let's see. Rift of the Necrodancer, a game which Michael and I played for 5 minutes before I picked something else for us to play instead.
It did not go well. You guys never saw the light. That never saw the light of day.
It was an interesting game, but like rhythm games are hard for RageSelect.
It also didn't really explain itself very well when we tried.
No, but we didn't try all that hard.
Yeah. Well, we tried it on the PC or something.
Yes.
It was acting up, if I remember.
So that's available today. But then what's interesting is that this has like some crossover content.
Yes.
So Celeste characters are in there, and then at one point they show the dude from Pizza Tower.
Yeah. That poor guy looks so fucking out of it.
It's so weird to see him animated so smoothly.
Yes.
Like, he's just so smooth and normal looking as opposed to the fucking crazy, janky version that's in Pizza Tower.
Good for him, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got Tamagotchi Plaza. Coming June 27th. This is like you play as a Tamagotchi, and then I don't know. We gotta have a name for these games,
like cozy living.
Cozy living. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Where it's like, make your character and then dress them up, and then help the shop owner to do a little mini game, and then their business opens up, and then there'll be your friend, and you can come over for tea and blah blah. And it's like, okay, fine. But is Tamagotchi... I didn't realize there were, like, specific characters associated with Tamagotchi.
I didn't either, to be honest.
I mean, if that is what we're looking at, it's not just, like, random shit. I like the sharks with abs. That's about as much as I got. So
I was very underwhelmed by this direct.
Yeah, there's a few things. I don't know. Let's see. We got a trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA.
This still looks kind of neat.
A lot of the information here we've seen in other stuff before. Well, the only thing I think was new here was they showed at nighttime, like the city turns into a battle royale.
Yeah.
Like after curfew, the Pokemon trainers just go out of the streets. They'll fight anybody. They're fucking crazy, man.
It's the warriors out there.
Yep. I got a question. When you watch this, what hardware did you think it was running on? Because this looks like 10 times better than even Pokemon Arceus did.
Yeah.
And Violet and Scarlet looked like garbage compared to this.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I every time I see something that looks really good, I remember playing a game. I don't remember which Switch game it was, but I remember I did something that was just like enough that in any other console would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it slowed down the Switch like it was nobody's fucking business.
Oh.
And I look at this and I'm just like, this is clearly like a different piece of hardware. Because, I remember when they showed off the trailers for those other Pokemon games, they ran slow even in their trailers.
Yeah, they ran like crap in the trailer. and then we got the games and they ran like crap there too.
Yeah,
whereas
these are
this
running
looks real nice,
really smoothly.
Lighting engine, real smooth characters.
Yeah, they're like, we don't have anything about the Switch 2, but it's there.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, guys, like let me know. But that's not that long from now when that will come out. The Switch 2 news.
Yeah, like April 4th. From there, we found out that we're getting a new Rhythm Heaven game.
The way it started was kind of weird.
It's very strange.
Like, I realized what it was, but at the same time, like, why are you explaining it like this?
Yeah, I am I'm not a Rhythm Heaven guy, Michael. I'm a
They're very hard.
What's the name of that? Oh, fuck, I forgot.
The Elite Beat Agents?
The Japanese version of Elite Beat Agents. Also Tetekeo Endon, because J-pop is more catchy than the fucking Cher songs that they put in Elite Beat Agents. Yeah. So if they made a new Oendon game, I would play it, except that was like really a touchscreen game.
Yes.
And this is more of a just like push a button game. I don't know, it looks charming enough. Like it's a rhythm game where like it plays a song and then you're kind of tapping in time with the song in order to get the right the right timing on everything. And it's got a bunch of, it's like WarioWare but Guitar Hero, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, the Rhythm Heaven, there was another the last Rhythm Heaven was super fucking popular.
Yeah.
To the point where people made like flash videos that were just that, but like a different version of it. Like there's an entire Smash Brothers video where it was just the last Rhythm Heaven level at the time. Because what it is that when you play the Rhythm Heaven games, each of these is a specific mini game.
Right.
But there's at the end there's like I don't remember the full name of it, but what it is, it's a version of it where you have to do every single one of them one after another. Oh. And what it does is it basically makes it as it's like this one giant continuous song.
Okay.
And it's really cool. And so the last time people did that, they made like different versions using that same music.
Okay.
And it was really fun. And
yeah,
I'm actually more excited to see that than I am for the actual game, because I'm fucking terrible at these games.
Well, but then the other thing that really confused me about this whole thing is that the release date is 2026.
Yeah.
It's like next year?
Which is
really?
crazy.
Okay.
I guess they got to make sure all that shit matches the rhythm.
I suppose.
Because that shit gets really intense after a while.
Yeah.
Because when you watch those videos, you're like, how in God's name is a human being supposed to be able to do this? Other than memorization.
Let's see. So, oh boy. Okay. All right. I have my news eyes were way bigger than my news stomach because we're not even through this and we're about out of time. But I want to go out on this because there was an interesting new announcement, and I think I thought about it a lot yesterday. I think I know what's going on here. So, Nintendo announced this thing called a virtual game card.
Yes.
And what this is like they described it as like, okay, if you have a Switch and you bought a physical game, you bought Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Michael's like, I want to borrow Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and then you hand him the card, and he puts it in his Switch, and he plays it. Easy peasy. We all know how that works.
Yeah.
But what if I bought the game digitally? And it's like, well, if I bought the game digitally, then I could, now it comes as a virtual game card that I can actually insert and remove like virtually from my system. And then if there are people in your family plan, you can loan the card to them for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They can play the game in its entirety, but while it's loaned out, you can't play it, like a lending system. I think there's a few other games that do, there are a few other systems that do something similar to this. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether this is going to be like, I'm pretty sure this is going to be backported to everything that you've already purchased, because the update for it comes out in early April.
Yeah.
But I thought about this for a while, and I thought about it, and I realized, okay, why are we doing this? Why are we codifying these games into these cards? And I think it's for the Switch 2. Because if the Switch 2 is backwards compatible, like up until now, you think about the way that Nintendo has run with the Switch, right? If you have okay, so I'll just say this. I had to look this up. If you have two Switches, whichever one was like logged in was the one that could play your online games, and then the other one couldn't. Like,
yes.
But I think that Nintendo was like, that's fine, because most people don't have two Switches. They have one Switch, right? Most people have one Switch in their house. So you're not going to be in a situation where you've got the same person logged into two Switches. However, they're about to release a new console where a lot of people are probably going to have two Switches that are logged into the same account. And it would be a bad user experience if it was like, okay, well, now I have the Switch that's in my bedroom, and then I have the Switch that's like downstairs. The Switch 2 is downstairs hooked up to my TV. And I've got to like log out. I've got to log back into my other account and blah, 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 blah. Whereas here, you can now basically pass the games back and forth between the two of them. And so it's a form of like DRM. It's a form of restriction because, you know, I think that a lot of us would just think that by default, it's like, well, I bought the game. It's on my account. You let me play it on whatever fucking Switch is logged in. What do you mean I can only log into one at a time? I own 2 Switches. If my cousin wants to play Mario, don't make me have to log out of fucking whatever Rhythm Heaven so they can play Mario. Well, now there's a better solution to that. And I think that the friends and family thing of being able to loan it out is like an olive branch to make this change go down easier.
Well, the other thing I think is it's another way of them trying to combat piracy.
Yeah,
because a lot of people doing the piracy are doing it because they don't have the money to pay for these games. So it's another way of being like, hey, maybe your friends have them and they want to just lend them. And because that's one of the reasons why physical is so great for a lot of people is that they're like, you know, I buy it and then I can give it to someone it's a lend to them for a bit, and so there's a lot of people that are like, well, I want to play Metroid Dread right now, but my friend has it and he says it's great, but he's beat it ages ago, but he can't just lend it to me because it's attached to a Switch,
right? And
he sure as shit isn't just going to give me his login to play it because he's going to be playing his own.
Yeah.
This is a good way of being like, hey, don't fucking steal our game.
Right.
Like, just ask your friend to borrow it from him for 2 weeks, and you'll be fine with it. And so it seems to be like Nintendo trying to olive branch a lot of ways for the user.
I really do think that it's primarily for when people buy a Switch 2. That you suddenly have a whole bunch of people with 2 Nintendo Switches that can play the same games, that are logged into the same account, and that like this is a very Nintendo thing to do of creating basically quote unquote like a new feature that is basically a way to make that experience smoother and more elegant than just like fucking who logged into the Switch? I was fighting Mother Brain. Like, you know.
Here's the funniest thing about this announcement that makes me laugh is Don Metric really wishes he thought of this.
Yeah.
Because it would have made the Xbox One announcement way easier for them to put into the world.
It's very smart. I mean, like, the thing is that like I don't want to come across like I'm complaining about it, because I think it's very smart, because it's like, again, it's changing the way that the Switch currently works in a way that makes it a little bit more elegant, but it also gives people something that they may not have had before, the ability to loan these virtual games out in a way that still lets Nintendo retain control over. We don't want you buying one copy of Splatoon and everybody playing it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
We want you to buy a second copy of a game. Like, if both people in your house want to play Animal Crossing and you have 2 Switches and you want to play Animal Crossing together on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, you need to buy another copy of Animal Crossing. Yes, you can lend the virtual card to your little brother, but now you don't have it and you have to buy a second copy.
Exactly.
And so I think that that's their primary motivation, but then the way they've done it is very much in a way that comes off as very gracious and like thoughtful and just, you know, elegant is really the way that I would put it.
And I think it is, because I don't think any of the other 2 big game companies ever would have thought about doing something like this.
I mean, I don't remember. I don't know how it works. Like the Xbox, like if I'm playing an Xbox Game Pass game on my PC and then I try to play the same game on my console, like I'm pretty sure it just shuts it down on my PC. And I know with the PlayStation, I'm not sure of all the rules because I don't spend a lot of time with 8 things logged in at the same time.
Yeah.
But with the PlayStation, I'm pretty sure that you have to set one PlayStation as a primary, and then that one, if it goes offline, can continue to play digital purchases, but like your other PlayStation has to be online all the time. But I don't actually know if I'm logged into 2, because I'm not going to be logged into 2 PlayStations simultaneously, and they could both even be on simultaneously and logged in simultaneously.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could play the same digital game on both of them simultaneously.
Oh, I don't. I've never tried. I can try it, but I've never tried. I don't even feel like trying it because I'm sure something will break.
We could probably look it up, but the simple fact of the matter is that like by sewing all this up into a UI and a feature and a brand name and all that stuff, it's made the whole thing easier to understand than even me just trying to explain how PlayStation works right here. So, so yeah, I do think that it came out. A lot of people were like, what was the point of this? And I thought about it for a little while, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know the point of this. I get you now.
It's a very interesting thing, and I'm curious to see how it actually works once it's implemented fully.
Yep. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. But when we come back, it's going to be the lightning of all lightning rounds. We're just going to have to see how much news we can get through because there's too much news. We'll see you in a minute. And we're back. And Michael, I was as I was walking up the stairs, I was thinking of you know that the Don Hertzfeld thing. I was like, my podcast is too big. So we're gonna go at a good clip here, but that's fine because there's not a lot left in the Nintendo Direct.
I found out they make a shirt for that because Mike had it.
Yeah,
and I was like, that is a big shirt.
This is my podcast. It's too big. We had like a little montage that happened after that. High on Life, Star Overdrive, King of Meat.
I'm surprised High on Life just keeps being added to things. It's like that company has not made another game since that happened.
The only one of these that I was really interested in is Lou's Lagoon because it looks like a Tailspin game.
It looks kind of fun.
And I want to play a Tailspin game. So, yeah. From there, we all got the announcement of Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, which is just another remaster of an old JRPG from the PSX era.
They added like some new stuff to it, too.
Added a few new things, new events, a few new things. This is also out on everything, so it's not just the Switch. It came out on a bunch of other platforms as well. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that. Monument Valley and Monument Valley 2 and Monument Valley 3, or Monument Valley 1 and 2 ports are coming out April 15th. Monument Valley 3 is coming out in the summertime. Very trippy kind of puzzle games from the phone that have gotten a second life on some consoles. So.
That's fun.
I liked, for some reason, I don't know what it is with me and golf, but there's a Everybody's Golf Hot Shots. Just a bunch of animes playing golf.
So for people who don't remember, a long time ago in the PS1 era, we got a game called Hot Shots.
Yeah.
In Japan, they were known as Everybody's Golf.
Oh.
And so that's the reason why...
This is Like a Dragon Yakuza.
Yeah, that's the reason why this is called Hot Shots, is because it's reminding the American audience, this is Hot Shots.
Okay.
It's just that it's called Everybody Loves Golf.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's because one of those things where whoever the American exec was, they're like, nobody is gonna like buy a game called Everybody Loves Golf. What if it was called Hot Shots? Because I was watching Hot Shots last night or something, and so I was actually like, yeah, that's pretty fun because these used to be like mostly Sony games for a good while.
Yeah. And just, kind of weird games. They've got some like kind of challenge modes. They've got some kind of straight up modes you can play online with other people.
Yeah.
It's a golf game.
They were really fun at the time. I haven't played them in a very long time. I don't know how many there are even now.
I don't know. I got so into Mario Golf that
God, you love that game.
I might think about looking at this one when it comes out. So at some point this year. Okay, we're powering through the rest of these because we want to spend time with the ones we love. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Michael.
This is pretty cool, actually.
Somebody made a game for Michael.
It's the first Marvel straight Marvel beat 'em up 2D we've gotten in a very long time.
Yeah,
so I'm actually very excited.
It's
being
made by .emu, and it's got like a team system where you pick two characters from the roster. I can see Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Nova, Venom. Captain Marvel?
It's like Storm or something. I forgot what her name is.
Oh,
they mentioned it in the description or something.
Is that not Captain Marvel?
I think they're like part of the race of Captain Marvels or something. But I don't know. They're like, I don't know her name or something. But it's just very interesting to me, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm very excited for this game.
I mean, you and I both love beat 'em ups, and I know you're a little bit more Marvel centric than I am, but I'm not immune. I'm not immune to Captain America hitting a guy with a shield.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I'm very excited for this, and there's no way it's only going to be or actually. I say that not remembering what happened to Ultimate Alliance 3, but in this instance, I think this is going to be on everything.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be on everything because I think I saw the same trailer got posted on Sony's channel at some point today or something.
Yeah,
but
I feel like they've just been getting like for some reason they have this nice deal with Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
that they're just allowed to talk about them first lately. It's been interesting for them.
Yeah, looks great. Looks great.
Looks really good.
Can't wait to try it out. Yeah. And then our last game announcement, Tomodachi Life. Which
I was watching somebody do a React video, and they're like, "Really?"
Yeah, it's very weird. It's a bunch of Miis on an island, and it's kind of a Simish type game where you walk around, kind of an Animal Crossing-ish thing. It's very weird. They all have like robot voices. They have like
This is the weirdest part about the entire thing.
like, well, they have bad robot voices.
Yeah.
Like in a land where we're living in, where we have these AIs that could literally duplicate somebody's voice. They're just like, "Oh, hello, neighbor." Like,
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, and I know how people loved the Tomodachi on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And so this is a big deal for a lot of those people.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what's happening. I don't know if it's as exciting for everybody else so far.
Yeah. It's very strange. And then they had a little part where this lady runs up to this other lady, and like, it turns out that she's not far away. She's actually very, very large.
Yeah, it has a deep, weird voice, and it freaks her the fuck out.
She leans down and says,
like
"You
a
wanted
dream.
to talk to me?" I don't know. It does look surreal and weird, which I like it when... I mean, it's like there was a game that we never played that came out, I think, last year called like The New Denpa Men or whatever. It was kind of like a weird... I don't know, just one of these like weird Animal Crossings. So...
Yeah, people are actually excited about this. I'm pretending they're not, but they actually legitimately are. At least the people that really like Tomodachi. Because I remember for years I would see on like comments being like, "When are they gonna make another Tomodachi?" Because they were just like, "I haven't heard shit about another one for a very long time."
You're like,
so
another what?
Yeah, there were some people thinking that too, but every now and then somebody will bring it up to me, and I'm like, "Oh, that is interesting."
Yeah, that's coming out sometime in 2026. Another weird kind of... I mean, who can say? And then they wrapped up with the announcement of an app. The Nintendo Today app, which is like every day tells you Nintendo stuff,
like Nintendo events, Nintendo announcements that like I guess they don't feel like needing a direct for.
Yeah,
and I mentioned to Jeff there was one that's already popped up.
Yeah,
apparently,
which is the Zelda.
Yeah, the
movie?
Zelda movie has a release date set, which who knows if that'll stick. But you know, that's interesting. That means 2027. We're supposed to be getting a live action Zelda movie.
Yeah. I can tell you, Michael, that when you turn on your Nintendo Switch and it's got like a news feed that tells you all the latest announcements. I don't care. I don't care about any of that shit. I don't want this app trying to fucking push notify me that there's new DLC for Animal Crossing, because like, yes, 1 out of every 80 of these is going to be exciting, but mostly it's just going to be trash or stuff that I'm not interested in.
It's probably not even be mostly announcements. It's probably just going to be like, "Hey, did you know that Mario sat down one time this day?"
Yeah,
it's going to be like shit like that. You're
Take
like,
a
okay,
look
I
at
guess.
this screenshot of a Mario. All right, that was our Nintendo Direct. You are correct that it was, I mean, I don't know. I didn't expect that much from it. We've got a Nintendo Switch 2 right around the corner. This is kind of the last gasp of stuff. It was nice of them to throw Metroid in there as a bone, so it wasn't just farming and Animal Crossing style games.
That was like 99% of it, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. Still a few things in there that are kind of interesting. However, we did see a lot of those release dates were happening in June, and we also got a report from Insider Gaming that during this year's GDC, basically everybody knows that the Switch is coming out. Switch 2 is coming out in June. Like,
yeah,
because people have to.
Yeah.
Still not completely, not finalized until Nintendo says it out loud, but like, that makes sense. You wouldn't want to release it holiday just because, I don't know, who do you think wins in a fight between the Switch 2 and Grand Theft Auto 6? Maybe they put them in a pack, like the Switch 2 and the Grand Theft Auto 6 for the PS5 or whatever.
It depends on what the Switch 2 is going to have. That's always what it comes down to.
Probably Metroid.
But my God, everybody, we've all been waiting for both of those things.
Yep.
Like, I know which one's going to win for me only because I don't think I'm going to have Switch 2 money when the Switch 2 comes out. But like, I also am tempted to just, trade in my Switch for a Switch 2 or something.
It
all depends on what happens, I guess.
There's also been a rumor that apparently like the initial launch window is going to focus entirely on first-party titles. So from June and July will be first-party titles. And then I believe in in October and November, it'll be more third-party stuff. And then moving on, it'll start to kind of ooze together. But it sounds like Nintendo, because I mean, like we saw on the Switch, like when the Switch launched, it was a lot of first-party titles.
Yeah.
But very shortly after, that catalog started filling up with third-party stuff. And if the Switch 2 is powerful enough to run like PS4 games or even some modern games without any technical drawbacks, you could see developers are just like, yeah, man, I want to put my fucking game with it. Like, you know, I want to put Dragon Age Veilguard, Spider-Man, and fucking Halo and everything on the Switch too.
They could just put all the re-releases that are on the other consoles and just throw them on there without any issues.
Right.
That's free money right there.
Yeah, because, you know, people buy Switch 2, they're going to want games to play on the Switch 2.
Maybe we'll have Shadows of the Damned on there. Who knows? Fuck it.
Maybe we'll have Elden Ring.
Yeah.
They haven't put Elden Ring on. They got Dark Souls, but no Elden Ring.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm not going to play it there. I've already bought it 4 times, Michael. I'm not going to play it again on the fucking Switch. We also got... This is interesting. There was apparently, when people were looking into the Xenoblade Chronicles X, we talked about this a little bit in the dojos.
We did.
That there's a switch in there that
Yeah, I got it.
potentially could turn the game to 60 frames per second. But if you turn it on, if you like hack it on, it causes like weirdness. But the idea being that this might be something that was implemented, they tried to implement that didn't work, or that it could be something that they're saving to put in the Switch 2, or it could just be some bullshit code left over. You know, and nobody's the wiser.
Yeah,
so.
somebody was. I wouldn't be surprised if it did turn out to somebody was playing with the idea.
Yeah,
because everybody loves 60 FPS.
I love it. I'll play a game. I'll make a game look worse to play it at 60 frames per second. So I might have even. Well, no. Let's not go crazy, Jeff. I was like, I might even consider playing Xenoblade Chronicles if it was 60 FPS. No.
Now it just looks like Minecraft.
No. Okay, so from there, we're gonna have to go through these pretty quick. There was that future game show that I watched. There was a Kotaku article that had 9 games from the future spring showcase, and we're just gonna go through these, but we're gonna go through them really fast.
Okay.
So the first one is called Lost Rift, which appears to be like a survival/extraction game. Michael, were you on when I talked about how People Can Fly are making like 8 different video games?
Yeah, I was, and we were very confused by this.
This is one of them.
Okay.
This is a People Can Fly joint, apparently.
That's very strange.
And it also looks like it's got some Rust vibes to it. What this seems like is that People Can Fly, that Sony asked People Can Fly to make a Rust game set on fucking Kong Skull Island, because there's like a big monkey and some big animals. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks fine for that.
Yeah,
for what it is.
I'm sure people will have fun with it.
It's not the most amazing thing in here. We also got a trailer for I Hate This Place, which apparently is based on a comic.
Oh,
like a horror comic. That I've never heard of before.
I vaguely have heard of this actually.
That's
a friend of mine, I think, reads it.
It's kind of like a survival horror. Weird, like you're trapped in a forest where crazy stuff is happening, and like there's a lot of like kind of crazy guts and gore, but it's kind of rendered in this nice like kind of sketchy-ish comic style.
Oh, okay.
Which I kind of dig, and it looks like it's got a lot of interesting ideas. Like on its face, it looks a little bit like remember that zombie game that we played where you put the helmets on the zombies and you make them do yourself? Kind of looks like that.
That was a crazy game.
But I like the horror aspect of it. And I'm really looking for the next Crow Country. Who knows? This could be it. But big ass spiders.
Yeah, I vaguely remember hearing about this comic
coming this year. Let's see.
Done by Starbound. Apparently, it was the people who owned. I think it's Robert Kirkman's company.
Oh, okay. We also got a trailer for Elsewhere Electric. I forgot that I didn't know that they were still making these games, but this is a game where one person plays on a MetaQuest in VR, and the other person plays on a cell phone.
Oh.
And it's like one person is in a van and the other person is going into this like kind of 1960s mod themed like bunker that's like an electric company, and then you have to work together with the person on the phone to like solve puzzles and stuff. I do like it when games do that. Like I like it when they encourage that level of asymmetric cooperation.
I'm a big fan of that just because it's a very interesting thing to do with friends, because you can't just they don't really see what you're seeing, so you have to.
Yeah.
It really shows like how well a person is at like describing things.
Yes.
And either you get somebody who's just saying a bunch of random nonsense, and you're like, I don't know what that means, what you just said, or you get the most detailed description you've ever heard in your life.
It's kind of like the We Were Here games.
Yeah.
Some of these weren't as good. Shelf Heroes is kind of like a multiplayer, like a third-person shooter based in like a. We actually played a game that was similar to this a while back.
Yeah, I was like, isn't this that game, but like not as interesting?
It's kind of a Toy Story multiplayer game. I don't know. I don't really care as much for that. Roamstead. Actually, we might skip some of these. Roamstead is a game. It's kind of like Stardew Valley, but there's like zombies, but it's also in ancient Rome, and so you and your friends like build a little community, but then you have to defend it from zombies.
It's like a hat on a hat.
It's all in a but it all like kind of looks like a top-down Stardew Valley style game. So, which is a little bizarre.
I guess that's just I don't know. People seem to think that's a good idea, but sure.
Seems to sell. This one was interesting. It's called The Last Caretaker. You play as a robot. Like,
this I did hear about, actually.
Humanity is gone, and you play as like a robot on like a shipping platform where you're trying to get the resources to build like a rocket to send what I think are like brain cores into space or something. So you've got to maintain this kind of oil rig, but then also they showed parts where you're on a ship and you have to kind of go around. So kind of like that game Raft, but then mixed with like another survival game, like Subnautica or Kerbal Space Program. I don't know.
Well, it's like a decent. Like I remember hearing about this, and it sounds like an interesting enough idea.
Yeah,
that you're just like this robot that's trying to take care of like the remnants of what's his programming is. I guess I don't know. It's kind of insane.
It's got a real moody atmosphere, and I like it. Like they used a version of that. That one song that like don't they know it's the end of the world, like which I appreciate still.
It's pretty fun. So it's a great idea.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got the full announcement trailer for Frosthaven, which is an incredibly popular board game that was kickstarted into a video game.
I was like, I swear I've heard this name before.
Yeah, and it's very much created with kind of virtual cards and virtual miniatures.
Oh, okay.
I don't know anything about Frosthaven, so to me it just kind of looks like a generic RPG.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I've seen that name when I've like walked through like stores and stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm sure it's like popular to those guys.
And that's having a beta that's coming out pretty soon. Let's see. Man, I don't know about that. The last one. Wait, no, I'm going to skip Rayev. And I'm going to skip that one too. Okay, never mind. So there was other stuff. I looked at it. It was like a 2-hour. It was one of those giant PC gamer shows, and I was just like, I can't fucking do that. And the rest of this stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's similar, going way too fast fashion. We're going to go past the Digimon stuff. I know I talked about the digital monsters. The biggest thing that probably happened was that the game, the Time Stranger game that they announced.
Yeah, I remember them announcing that a while back.
Yeah, they just showed off some of the Digimon doing attacks, fight stuff. One of those guys like an NFT. I don't know. And like it was mostly just, I think, kind of like a roll call thing, right? To get people excited for like, look, your favorite Digimon are in this game.
Like I recognize chunks of these because some of them are from the stuff I watched, but some of them I've never seen.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why there was a guy with a machine gun.
I don't know. There was a guy with there was a monkey with sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know that one either. Yeah.
And then it's just like some of these are just people. Some of these are monsters, and some are just people.
I wonder if they'll have ska again. For people who don't know, the Digimon movie had ska in it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I thought was interesting, this is just a real brief thing, was that you get to pick between a male and female character at the beginning of the game. Whichever one you don't pick becomes your quote-unquote operator, like your support person.
Oh, okay.
Which I think is a great idea.
So it's not like a rival thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was what I think some Pokemon games are like. Whoever you don't pick becomes your rival sometimes.
Right. As far as the other stuff goes, all the rest of this was like they've got a digital card game.
Okay.
Blake and I talked about this last week. Apparently, there have been other digital card games. This one has like unlike the Pokemon one, this one has like characters and like a story mode and stuff, but it's still just like a digital card game. And I'm sure the story mode is just training for you to go online and fight people in Digimon card battles.
Yeah, get cards for that you know for free or whatever.
Yeah. There's there are two animes announcement. One was called Digimon Adventure Beyond, which is an OVA set between Digimon Adventure Tri and Digimon Adventure The Last Evolution.
Those are words you said.
Those are movies. This one looks all like realistic and shit. They put out like 4 minutes of it online. I did not watch it because I watched a lot of other stuff instead.
Oh, okay.
But then the other thing I think that was more interesting for people is there's a new Digimon called Digimon Beat Break that is like the first new anime in a few years.
Yeah, this is what my girlfriend sent me, was this one specifically.
Yeah. Which has very little. It's mostly just kind of teasy. Like there's not a lot to it. But the dude looks all edgy and shit. He's like backlit.
There's a lot of edgelord coloring here going on.
You got
here.
the Kingdom Heart feet too. You got the big ass Sora feet.
Yeah, I almost said Kingdom Hearts. Digimon has a lot of that for at least for the kid characters for some reason.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Digimon. You guys can go watch the rest if you want to know more.
Yeah.
Because we ain't got time. Monster Hunter Wilds had a big showcase. I don't know. Did you watch this one?
I heard bits and pieces of it.
Okay.
I heard about the Gathering Hub coming back, which I remember telling you at the time about, because you were like, where would we normally meet? It's like, well, normally there's a Gathering Hub.
Right.
But there isn't one.
Yeah.
And I even said I assume they're going to come out with one eventually. And they did. They're announcing that they're going to add them.
They got a hub. It's got fishing. It's got eating. It's got an idol
Seems
that
to
you
be
can watch.
mini games.
Singing.
Apparently.
It's got a bowling mini game.
Which is pretty fun.
Which apparently you play with like login tickets. So it's like kind of limited.
But there's cooking cats again.
Yep.
Thank God.
Cats are bringing stuff
I want
out.
my cooking cats back.
And then we got some new monsters are coming in for the first phase. Mitsuzune or whatever it's called.
It's
bubble one.
It's like a bubble Leviathan dragon thing. A very popular one.
And then there's like the something Rex. Oh, right. Also, that one lady in your party gets a bunch of like glasses.
Oh, yeah.
She's got new customizable glasses and a new outfit.
There's also you can also finally make an outfit out of the final boss of the main story mode.
Oh, yeah. They're bringing them back. And then also Arch-Tempered Ray Dao.
Yeah. It's a thing involving Gormagala.
Okay.
Specifically.
And they showed off a bunch of brand new. I mean, like, man, what a fucking racket does Monster Hunter have? Like, look, here's a new monster, and here's 3 new armors. Pay me, nerds.
The most exciting thing for it, I think, happened at the end of it, though, for me.
Okay, what was that?
They're finally bringing back my arch nemesis, the Lagyricus.
Oh, was that the tease for what's coming next?
Yeah, so the Lagyricus was the monster on the cover for Monster Hunter 3, and so I started at that point. And I consider him my arch enemy.
Okay,
not because I hate him, but because I love him. In fact, but he was the first. It was the first time it was the first monster in one of these games that terrified me, because the game did a good job of being like, oh, you're gonna do this quick little hunt and you're just gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
And then he appears, and then everybody in the game's like, you better fucking run, because he's going to fucking fuck your shit up. And first time I saw him, because it had an underwater sequence back in 3.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been a thing anymore, because it's hard to fight a monster underwater. And I remember it chasing me down and me legitimately being like, that thing is fucking scary.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, I'm just like, that dude is my arch nemesis. And I killed him so many times.
There's also some
I'm excited to fight him one more time.
Some cosmetic DLCs with some emotes, and there's just a bunch of stuff for Monster Hunter, man. Stuff to put on you put cheese on the side of your hut or something, your tent. Some like tent stuff.
Yeah, they're the tents that you can put out in the worlds.
And then there's like a festival. There's like a seasonal event that's starting up pretty soon. So
I'm very happy that Monster Hunter is doing really well still.
Yeah,
and the fact that I think Wilds is doing better than the way Rise did, purely because it came out on the bigger consoles first,
more platforms. Yeah.
And I'm happy for them.
Yep. So if you're into Monster Hunter, check all that shit out. Let's see. Speaking of incredibly popular video games, Hollow Knight got a change in the Steam metadata.
Oh my goodness!
Which everybody has been waiting for the Hollow Knight Silksong DLC since like 2019.
It's been a very long time.
It's been a long time for some just 2D side scroll and action game. Like, I know people really like Hollow Knight, but like Hollow Knight doesn't seem like it should take, unless they announce that thing before they even started. Like, I don't know why it would take this long.
Yeah, I generally can't fathom the fact that it's still not out even now.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be out in 2020, and then it got delayed, 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 and then it got delayed. But the last thing that happened was, the Steam metadata of Hollow Knight Silk Song was updated. The changes include an opt-in for Hollow Knight Silk Song on GeForce Now, as well as a few other things. And people are like, Silk Song confirmed! Silk Song confirmed! It's like, it's as bad as Half-Life 3 or Grand Theft Auto 6
well,
was.
the thing about Half-Life 3 is that we don't know, we've never seen it, where Silk Song, they've talked about over and over again.
It's true.
And even, it's similar more with the way Grand Theft Auto was, but even then, we didn't see anything about Grand Theft Auto 6 for a long time.
Yeah.
This is, we're actually being shown it every year since they've announced it. And they're like...
Oh, no, I haven't had, like, full-on trailers for it or anything.
No, I've remember a couple trailers here and there.
There've been a couple, but it hasn't been...
Like, but we know it exists, kind of thing. And the fact that we haven't got... It still hasn't come out is fucking weird to me.
I really do think that this thing would have faded into the background if the fans of it hadn't just been like Smash Brothers fans or Half-Life fans or just the crazy video game fans that are just like, what now? Like, you know, if you're watching a Nintendo live stream, somebody's going to be in there and like, announce Silk Song, you cowards! Like,
still nothing, even now.
Yeah. In other Steam news, this was interesting. There was a research firm called Newzoo that did the crunch down on some data and had Michael. This is a very dry story, but I think it's shocking. It's a dry, shocking number. Okay. So in 2024, the estimate, this is for PC users, was that only 8% of all PC users in 2024 played any game that came out in 2024.
Really?
Yes. Like they didn't play a single game that was released in 2024.
That's crazy.
The same research firm did crunch the numbers on the consoles, and the consoles are twice that. It's like 16.8% of console players did not play a game that came out, or only 16.8% of console players played a game in 2024 that came out in 2024.
Wow.
Which the thing is, I read this, and like, this is an independent research firm. This is not like directly based on numbers that they got from internal stuff, right? They're doing a little bit of math stuff. But this is the linchpin. Why are all these video game layoffs happening? Because only 8% of all PC gamers played a game that came out last year. Like,
that's weird.
People are not getting, I mean, you know, so you think about the way that like video game companies are like, oh, well, we want everybody to play our live service game. And it's like, but you're going to have a hard time getting them to play any fucking game that comes out this year.
Yeah, Helldivers 2 was a miracle then, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because, Jesus Christ, that means only like 8% of those people were the people who played Helldivers? That's fucking weird. I don't understand.
Yeah.
That's so fucking strange to me.
Yeah. Which, like...
I'm trying to think of what came out that year.
Last year?
Besides that. It was Helldivers, Black Myth,
Wukong's, Astrobot, like...
Actually, that's even more surprising that nobody played Astrobot.
Yeah.
Or not nobody, but you know what I mean.
Well, I think it's something that we don't know as often. Like, I think that the people who listen to this podcast, you and me, a lot of other people, we still get, like, FOMO for new video games.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who are just, like, $70? Fuck you. I mean,
that's
like,
true.
I've got a game. There's so many free-to-play games. There are so many games that are on sale. There's so many older games you can just play over again. You just go get, you know, re-release of an older game and just play that. Like, which is, I think, what I used to do. When I was broke, I'd play my old games, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't play the brand new games that came out all the time.
Yeah, we all did that especially when we were younger, because, you know, it's not like we could magically make money appear to buy video games when we were in our teens.
Yeah, patreon.com/RageSelect. But the thing is that makes a certain amount of sense, because you think about over the last 5 years, how many live service games, how many free-to-play games, how many, like, infinity, quote-unquote, infinity games that could be played forever came out, right? You bought Minecraft and you're a little broke this month, and fucking the last Berserker Kazan comes out to rave reviews, and you're like, well, that looks pretty cool, but like, I just gonna play more Minecraft. Like, I'm just gonna play, you know, this infinity game over and over again. Like, why would I want to do that?
There's plenty of games that I've bought that I've just randomly gone back to, and I can see myself going back to if I had the time.
Yeah,
forever. And some of us have backlogs. A lot of the people who have the money to buy things have these gigantic backlogs, especially that PC number. I mean, that PC number makes sense because, you know, they're buying Steam sale games nonstop, and they're still trying to get through that shit. Yep. So they're like, why do I need to buy Star Wars Outlaws or something.
Sure.
And I can play Star Wars Battlefront that I've owned on a Steam sale I got like 10 years ago or some shit like that.
Especially because new games also, it's like there's no guarantee that if you buy a new game that it's going to run well, that it's going to run at all.
Yes.
It could be all jacked up.
Especially nowadays.
Like, I think what we're seeing here is just the repercussions of what the last 5 years of video games have looked like. Of like, why would you buy Cyberpunk 2077 on day one when you could buy it on a Steam sale in 3 years and get like triple the content that had all been smoothed out?
And it works.
All you have to do is not spend money. It's actually pretty easy when you don't have a lot of money to not spend money. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and then you've got stuff like Game Pass, like that, where you're just like, I mean, I'll pay Game Pass, but like, then I'll just play whatever's on Game Pass. So I think it's worth putting that into perspective because I think there was a giant jump in people that were playing games in 2020, and the market was slowing down in 2019 a little bit. And then we had the lockdowns and a big ass jump. But then you think of all these companies that have been trying to sell you the one game that you can play for the rest of your life. We were just talking about Monster Hunter.
We were.
All
yeah.
the shit that they've added. What's it been like a month since that game came out? And they're
Not even, probably.
And they're dedicated to what? Continuing to add like events and hunts and play it online with your friends, and you're trying to get super duper triple S rank fucking gear, and you got to fight the monsters over and over again.
I was even just talking about Fortnite not that long ago.
Yeah.
And it's like that game, and you're just like, why are you still fucking with Fortnite? It's like, you have all these new games. I'm like, I just keep coming back randomly.
That's why, I mean, like, but the thing is that I'm okay never finishing a game. And a lot of it is because of patreon.com/RageSelect. Because, like, if I had to buy my own games, then I would never have bought Altair, Yumiya, the fucking Alchemist Legacy, even though I played that game a little bit yesterday and it was pretty cool. But you know what? Atomfall is out this weekend. AI Melt is out this week. And fucking First Berserker Kazan is out this week. And, like, I have to pick one. I can't play all of them. So
there's too much nowadays,
anyway,
unfortunately.
It's very interesting, and I hope we all keep that in mind. So, let's see. We also got a few new games that, speaking of old games that you could play right now, GOG has added a bunch of new games to their game preservation program.
Oh.
These are the games where they've negotiated contracts that basically are like, your game will never be delisted. It's always going to be on our service. And then they also have gone to great lengths to like make them kind of future proof, but they've also added in stuff.
Yeah.
And the latest spate of games is Silent Hill 4: The Room, which is a big one because those games get taken away all the time. And then Deus Ex and the original Fear, which is also a big one because between Monolith and Warner Brothers, like that shit is in limbo.
Yeah. There's
hardcore.
a whole lot happening right now with those guys.
So I'm really glad to see that somebody is taking this shit seriously, that they're making an effort to keep these games in a place where people can still buy them, still get them, and still play them.
Yeah, game preservation is one of the hardest things, media preservation wise, because of the fact they're all tied to specific pieces of hardware that will crumble much faster than, say, like, a way VHS does, because VHS is you can transfer them to newer things and then transfer that to a newer thing for as long as you want. You can't really do the same thing that easily with, say, like a fucking Sega Saturn game or something. Yeah, because for all you know, like that thing was tied to something very specific that only worked on that or something, or
to a company that has no interest in letting you put it back out just for their own reasons.
Exactly.
So let's see. In other Silent Hill news, we briefly had a thing last week. Blake and I read over an article where there was the ESRB rating for Silent Hill F. Yeah. And it was like, and because you have to submit why it's an M rating, there was like details of what was happened to that game. And I was like, oh my God. So this week we got a news story and an update. So the news story was that Australia wasn't going to be rating Silent Hill F because it's full of teenagers. Two, a lot of really violent things happen to them. And also there's bullying and drug use and shit that Australia just don't fucking like.
Australia does not care about things when it comes to this sort of thing.
They don't like it when you bully kids, and they don't like it when you do drugs in a video game. Like Fallout 3 had to rename all the drugs or take out all the drugs or whatever for the like that, Australian release. However, Australia did come out and say there was an update that said that the ban on that had been retracted and that had been made in error. So I think that this might be like an appeals thing where Konami is like, well, what do you need us to change, right? Because a lot of times when a game gets fully banned by a country, the company is worth it's in the company's best interest to go in and like take those things out, edit stuff, so that you can have a release.
The whole game is now about picking flowers in Japan,
right?
Nothing else.
The last trailer, that girl's face started coming off at the end of it.
It did. There's a lot of fucked up shit, and I'm kind of excited about it, to be honest.
Yep, me too. Like a big sicko. Let's see. Speaking of sickos, all you Inzoi sickos out there will be happy to hear that Inzoi has removed their de novo copy protection pre-launch. So the game was supposed to have
that's surprising
de novo on their PC release, and there was a little bit of a kerfuffle. There was a little bit of a dust up online when people found that out, because people don't fucking like de novo.
No,
de novo. But it sounds like their rationale for it was that they looked into it, and that having de novo would make it so it would be much harder to mod the game.
Yeah,
since de novo like works on the integrity of the game files, it would be a lot harder for anybody to add anything to the game, because then it would be like seen as an attempt to bypass the copyright restrictions, which for this game doesn't seem like a thing they want. They want people to go in and mod it and share that shit online and show people how much they like it and buy the shit out of it. So
yeah, if they're going against the Sims, they have to get as many people as wanting to use it. And here's the thing about anti-piracy things is the more annoying an anti-piracy thing is, the more nobody wants to buy a game.
Yep.
And hell, there are people who have pirated the game because the pirated version worked better than the legal version because of it.
We've seen a lot of stories over the years where the PC version, they just go in and turn off de novo and suddenly get like 20 more frames per second.
Yeah. Which Resident Evil was it? That
Village?
was the idea.
It was Village.
And they're like, well, I swear that's not what's happening. It's like, it's here. We have the data, dude.
Yep. So yeah, that's a win for the good guys.
Yeah, good for them.
Or I guess, for the pirates, whatever. I don't care. Like, do whatever you want. So Microsoft just showed off. This is a weird story. I don't know where it goes. Microsoft just showed off this promotional image they had on their website for a day, and it was a thing that says "Open 1 billion doors with Xbox," and it has a Series S and a Series X and like a one of those portable not Xbox One, and then like a tablet, and then like another thing. So here on this big TV, there's a UI interface, Michael, and it says games. I don't think I can zoom this in, but it says games, and it's got like a thing. It's got a bunch of little things for games, but here they've got these little tabs, and this is like recently added, installed, owned, Game Pass, Steam.
Oh, interesting. Interesting indeed.
Which I'm like, but why? Like, I don't know if this is just a way for them to like, you can install the games on your PC via a unified app, because there's part of the story is also that like they might also be connecting to the Epic Game Store as well as like a unified thing.
Yeah, because some of their games are not, you can buy on those things. Maybe it's just the games that
if it matches your if you've got the PC version, or if you got the Steam version of whatever,
like Halo or something,
and
that
it's
they
on
made for some reason,
it's on Game Pass, then it'll say okay. You can stream Halo.
That makes some sense, I think, at least in my opinion.
Because you wouldn't be able to, I mean, you can, like, no tech that Microsoft has that we've ever heard of would allow you to stream a Steam game through xCloud.
There would be no reason to. And there's a lot of games that on Steam that aren't on the Xbox or even Microsoft's store, so why would that app be? The only thing that makes sense to me is like, say they want to try to unify what you buy through everything or something.
Yeah,
it's the only way that makes sense to me, which would be a really cool idea if they could make that work.
Yeah. So somebody pointed that out, and then of course they took it down and replaced it. But it still leaves us with the question mark of what exactly, like, is this more of that Microsoft like everything is an Xbox thing, where it's just like, well, you can access your Steam games and you can manage them, blah 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 blah. Because I mean, most Steam systems are probably Microsoft OS systems. So
yeah, it's not that far fetched. I think it's not far fetched enough for me to think that they won't just be like, hey, you own this game on Microsoft, it's on Game Pass and it's on Steam. Yeah, why don't we set it to where all three of them are on here, kind of thing.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Why not?
It'll be interesting. Let's see. Here's some more good news for PC users. The Dune Awakening game that is coming out. The devs came out and they said that when it launches, which is in it's like May 20th, so like in about 2 months.
Yeah.
It is a full launch. It is not early access. This is a full launch.
Oh.
And that there's no subscription fee, but there will be some optional DLCs. So they're going old school with it of just like we are launching a 1.0 video game on the PC, and we'll fix it as we go along. But
What a novel idea, Jeff.
Yeah, a battle pass or a subscription fee or anything like that. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Who could have thought of such a thing?
I don't know why I have this. This is like a news story on IGN. I'm just like, video game to release. And it's like, oh.
That's interesting.
All right.
That's actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
I'm kind of with it. Let's see. We also got the bad news, unfortunately, that Crystal Dynamics has done some layoffs. Now, this is 17 employees, which, as we've said in previous stories that are like this, it's not good for anybody to lose their jobs.
Yes.
But 17 is not cut the entire 500 person division.
No, it's not as bad as, okay, this is the sad thing, is it's not as bad as I expected when you said that they let off some people. It doesn't make me any less, annoyed by it, but it doesn't make me as depressed is the best way of putting it.
Right. Also, by the way, this image that you're looking at with the text, this was their official thing that they put out.
Is that on Twitter?
Yes. It's just black text on a white background. Usually you put like some kind of foof on it to make it look a little bit. This looks like a meme or something. Like, I don't know.
I didn't know what to think other than like it's hard to look at.
Image credit, Crystal Dynamics Twitter. I was like, guys, put in a fucking, did you fire your graphic designer? Like, put in some kind of effort.
That's probably who they fired, yeah.
Dude, I've only ever made one of these in my entire life, and even I spent 20 minutes making it look kind of okay.
Could have put like a Crystal Dynamics logo in the back or something. Anything.
Download a paper texture or something.
So weird.
It is. Okay, and last but certainly not least, because I cut a lot of other stories and we made excellent time.
Yes, we did.
I want to end on a nice note before we take a break, and we got a lot of trailers to go through. So the story came out where there was like an interview, I think it might have been like podcast or something, or it was a video with Laura Fryer, the former vice president of WB Games that oversaw the development of Shadow of Mordor. And the question was, how did the Nemesis system come to be, Michael? And the answer is incredible. I love it. The story makes me smile, and then it makes me sad because it's such a, like, you think about when that game came out. Why the Nemesis system came out was because it was directly related to that time period where CEOs wanted to get rid of the used game market. So, when EA had the pass, like the EA online pass.
I know Mortal Kombat had the online pass.
Yep. So at Warner Brothers, they were like, well, we're making these games and they're single player games. How can we keep people from playing them and then returning them? And so in the case of, the first example was Batman Arkham City, where there was the Catwoman part.
Yeah.
And that was in as a code on the box. So if you cashed it in and then you sold it back, it wouldn't have that code and they could charge you again for it. And then these angels, these titans amongst men at Monolith were like, well, we don't have any content that we can cut out of our Lord of the Rings game. How will we do this? And they sat around and they did blow. That's from me, not from them. And they all got fucking wasted. And they were like, what if this game made you hate it so much that there was no way you would ever give up. You would never return it because you're like, that motherfucker snack box came back from the dead when I was in the middle of killing. And I hate him. I hate him so much, Michael. I'm going to do New Game Plus just so I can kill him a third time. And that was how the Nemesis system came to be, was as a way to keep you so engaged with the game, with giving you this arch nemesis, this personal arch nemesis, that you would not go trade the game back in even after you beat it, because you would just be like, oh no, I'm holding on to this in case I ever have a bad fucking day. I'm going to load this up and kill me some orcs. And what a beautiful sentiment that is.
And it was, and it's so beautiful. It's not so much not only beautiful, but the fact that I know it would work on me, and it did. It did work on me for a while.
Yeah.
And then all the other things it could do, and it just makes me so much more sad that this fucking thing's locked behind some bullshit.
Yeah. I know, because essentially what it is we had to figure out a way to keep people from just beating the game and then trading it in. How will we do that? I don't know. Make a really, really good game that people want to keep playing over and over again. Like, I wonder why nobody else ever fucking thought of that.
Yeah, it's just so insane to me. Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I wish that Nemesis system was using anything else.
Any other games?
It's just, what, 2 games? That's it?
Just the two Shadow of Mordor.
That's so fucking
Shadow of War.
annoying. That thing would have been perfect for so many other games WB made.
Yep. I've never. But it's such a singular experience. And then the thing is that like they crapped up the sequel with all that microtransaction bullshit with the war stuff. Where I was like, I didn't even like it. Like I got halfway through it, and the game was like, okay, now play the entire game again, but harder. And I was like, no, fuck you. But that first one, I swear to God, I don't know if it was a live stream or whatever, we go back where I killed that fucking snack box motherfucker, and then we played the game, and then 20 minutes later I'm in the middle of another fight, and that fucking asshole just jumps out of the bushes and was like, ha, Ranger, you thought I was dead? And it killed me, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I've ever had an emotional experience as emotionally gripping as it's like I'm gonna fight him. Oh, I'm gonna kill his whole family. I'm gonna turn 100 orcs against this motherfucker, and I'm just gonna line them all up in a row and do shit that you can't say on YouTube. And like, it was so great. And then they just threw it on the ground. Warner Brothers is the most frustrating company in the world of just like, sometimes the greatness of Warner Brothers is a thing you'll never fucking forget. And then you're like, that was great. What are you going to do now? And they're like, throw it in the trash and burn the building down. And it was like, but why?
And no one's allowed to touch it.
But why would you do that?
I've now cursed it for 1,000 years. Like, fuck you guys.
Oh, boy. Anyway, with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we got hella trailers left to go. So stick around, everybody, and we'll see you in just a second. And we're back. And that means it's time for more trailers. This has pretty much just been mostly trailers.
Yeah.
Oops, all trailers. And this is, oh man, I have such mixed feelings about this because we're starting with not a Mortal Kombat trailer. I feel like that's almost always what I put at the front of these things. We got a trailer last week, reveal trailer for a game called Wildgate. Did you see this one?
No.
By any chance? So these are some ex-Blizzard devs, like some of the like ex-original guys, Mike Morhaime and company, and it's Sea of Thieves but on a spaceship. With a very kind of Blizzardy, cartoony style, where you have like a 4-person band and you're out exploring, and there's like this crazy cool like alien designs. They're all different, like they're all different kind of like looking, and you can kind of like fly over to meteors and asteroids. You can like mine them and you get loot, and you come back and get on your ship, upgrade your ship, and then it's like there's other ships and you can fight them and loot them, and you have to fix your own ship, that whole jazz. And I was like, oh man, I'm so into this. Like this looks like such my bag. But then I realized that it's a PvP game. It's like Sea of Thieves.
That's the way Sea of Thieves is.
Yeah.
Because Sea of Thieves added a PvE, and even that was like, but they like really downgraded what you could get from stuff.
Yeah. Which sucks because I love the look of this. Like it's so
this
cartoony.
looks really cool.
Great character designs, like nice. It's like all this big colorful stuff, and it's apparently like a bunch of different ways that you can like blow up other ships. There's like a big button that you press to overload the reactors, and all the like, little characters, little like owl guys and wolf guys and crazy dudes. Like,
and the way like the ship takes damage is just really cool looking.
Yeah, all of the kind of the way the shields are, the insides of the ships, they're all very singular as opposed to being like very regular looking. Like they've just got a lot of character to them,
and like all the interesting things going on with like the fact that you have to manually like make mines go out was fucking interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like this whole thing looks really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I might end up playing it because even I played that Void Crew game with Blake, and I got really into it for a week. But the thing is that it was like I was only playing the ship that you could play by yourself, where they automate all the other shit in the ship. So But yeah, I really like the look of this. I don't know. I hope that there's something that you can do if you don't want to play multiplayer, because I don't really want to play multiplayer against, or I actually PvE, I should say. I'm more than happy to play this with other people. I just don't want to have it to be adversarial multiplayer.
Yeah, that's the only problem I've had with games like this lately, or not lately, but because I had that same issue with Sea of Thieves. It's just that, like, I just, I don't have time to keep up with the sheer amount of stuff that you have to do to make a PvP game work anymore. Right. At least not like, one, especially stuff like this, because you have to have a team of people.
Yeah.
And that's, the older I get, the harder it is to just get people to say hi to me at once, let alone like all play a game at once.
Everybody's real busy all the time, man.
Yeah, I haven't touched Marvel Rivals since we fucking played, and we were like obsessed with that game for like a hot minute there.
Yeah,
but like everything else, I didn't have anybody to play with, and I was just like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Yeah, well, also games like that are cursed to like have a meta that establishes early and hard, and then people get mad if you don't play it. And I'm just like, fuck you guys.
Exactly.
But yeah, this looks great. We got a beta that's coming up. I signed up for it. I don't know. Maybe I'll get in. But yeah, looks pretty cool. So go check that one out.
Pretty neato.
From there, speaking of space stuff, No Man's Sky is at it again, Michael.
Stop it.
God damn it.
Just make a sequel already.
Well, they are. It's like no land, light the fire or whatever it's called.
No Land for the Sky or whatever.
Yeah. This is an archaeology update called Relics, where you could basically mine out procedurally generated skeletons of a variety of different monsters.
That's so fun.
And then you could set them up in your base as like little fucking Welcome to Jurassic Parks. You could trade with stuff, but you could also accidentally unearth like monsters, like rock monsters and like giant mechs that will activate and try to kick your ass. And then you've got to fight them to get your bones.
That's so crazy.
Amazing.
Oh my God, man.
Amazing.
Good for No Man's Sky, man. They keep fucking doing it.
When will it end? When will it be over?
Yeah, I legit would want to know what
is the end state for you guys?
Version of this game will be, and then compare that to what the beginning of it was.
Yeah, because this looks fantastic. So I don't know.
Even the way it says like No Man's Sky Relics feels like they did like a reference to something.
It looks like a Return of the Jedi logo.
Yeah, it's like a Return of the Jedi type like looking logo.
Yeah,
but also kind of the font of like Indiana Jones in some ways.
Yeah,
it's fucking interesting.
It is. Let's see. In other space news, we got a little deep dive on an Everspace 2 expansion called Wrath of the Ancients, and this was all focused around this one new ship called the Wraith. They showed off how it's like you kind of pick up this new resource of this new type of energy that's in this expansion, and then you can use it to like do a bunch of different kind of like little special attacks. Just reminded me that Everspace 2 still looks very cool, and I still haven't played it. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it because they're supposed to have a PS5 enhanced or PS5 Pro enhanced version.
Oh, okay.
And it's still not out yet, but what's in here looks pretty nuts. I don't think I ever got to the point in the game where you're flying around like this many little red dots on the screen trying to kill you.
It looks really cool.
Like one of the abilities the ship has is you can, like its ultimate, I think, is like the little energy fields that come out. You can like do this big area of attack thing where any of those little blobs of energy then turn into like spectral copies of your ship and also start shooting things. And like, I don't know, it's really cool looking. I feel bad.
And well, if there's a pro version, I definitely get why you're waiting, because you want it to run as best as it can.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like when this game came out, it was everything I was always asking for. They were like, here you go, Jeff. Here's that game you've been asking for years. Are you going to play it? And I was like, no.
I don't have time.
I'm busy. I'm busy with other stuff.
That's what happens. I'm amazed I've put as much time into Monster Hunter as I have.
Yeah.
And I'm still not even close to the actual end point of high rank.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because high rank takes a bit of time.
Oh, so you beat like the normal story, but
I beat the low rank stuff, and then I'm in the high rank section. And I still want to keep going through it, but it's a time thing.
Yeah, Wrath of the Ancients still coming out pretty soon. Let's see. From there, this is a PlayStation game we saw a little bit of, a gameplay trailer for Metal Eden, which is a game where you play as like this like lady in like a mech suit. And it's kind of like a first person like hyperkinetic action game. This one's a little weird to me because all of the cutscenes to me don't really match what the gameplay looks like.
Yeah.
Like the cutscenes are these kind of like high contrast. They're very like kind of realistic looking. And I don't know, I feel like the gameplay looks a little bit more like some kind of, I don't know, generic like arena shooter type of thing.
I can kind of see that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm judging it too harshly. Maybe they'll put out a demo.
I think just because it's like, I think because the cutscenes have to be cinematic, and then you play the game, you have to see.
right. That I don't know. It seems like there's a disconnect between what I see in the cutscenes and then what I see in the actual gameplay loop.
Yeah.
Which is to say the gameplay loop looks bad. It looks like a very like Doom 2016 style.
Yeah.
Just, you know, high speed, hyperkinetic, fighting lots of enemies kind of game. But
It looks like a lot of fun.
yeah. And there's going to be a demo April 8th. So maybe I'll find out more then. And May 6th is when it's coming out. Let's see. Okay, so the other game, speaking of first-person shooters and kinetic first-person shooters, that was on that future game showcase that I didn't talk about was Painkiller. Painkiller is back.
That's fun.
Painkiller was originally a People Can Fly joint where you played as like a dude in hell just blasting demons and stuff. This, though, is not being made by Painkiller. It's by People Can Fly. It's being made by like another studio, and then Saber Interactive is putting it out. The one thing that's a little weird for me is apparently it is like forced co-op, so you can play it with. But I think when they say that, I think they're talking about kind of the way that Warhammer is like that, where you can play it with bots, or you can play it with your friends.
Oh, okay.
But there is like a squad, because in this trailer, a lot of times you just see like another dude run by shooting stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's interesting. Very strange.
And it's being published under their 3D Realms like branding.
It's always funny to see 3D Realms pop up because they're not most of them aren't the same people anymore.
Yeah. And they come up in the strangest places too.
Oh yeah, that's why I was surprised. It's like 3D Realms, and that's where I expected for them to show up.
I don't know. This one I need to know a little bit more about. I need to know more about exactly what the co-op is, and then like kind of what's going on. Because I really did like Space Marine 2, but I don't want Saber Interactive to just become like we make the co-op first-person shooter games guys. So. Or the co-op shooter games guys, because all the iconography and everything in here looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The weapons look really nice. There's like a lot of blood and guts and violence and hell, and I'm into that. That's my jam.
Yeah, I love how often shooter games just end up, and then they ended up in hell and shot the devil in the dick 100,000 times, and I was like, you know what, I'm all for it.
Yep. What was that Shotgun Cop game that we saw that was just like, you're under arrest, Satan?
It's just so insane shit. I love it. Satan's is the ultimate enemy every time.
Yep. Let's see. Speaking of blood and ultraviolence, we also got the early access trailer, because the first Berserker Kazan, I think, had some kind of like 2 or 3 day early access thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this, Michael, but I played the demo for this.
No, you did not tell me that.
A fair amount.
Yeah.
And it was like what they're showing here, like a lot of these things they're showing in this trailer are bosses.
Okay.
And they're kind of doing a very nice kind of like fade between, like you keep seeing Kazan and then it like kind of moves the camera and it crossfades into another boss fight.
They all look really cool.
I think this game looks 100 times better now than it did when it was originally announced.
Oh yeah, I remember the announcement. It was like, this looks really generic. But
yeah.
Now this looks really fucking cool, actually.
And apparently there was another story. I could tie this in just a little bit to another story I read. The demo was very hard. Like,
okay.
It took me a long time to beat that ape guy, and I couldn't even beat it was like a Yeti, and I couldn't beat the guy at the end of the demo. It was like a night, and I just kind of got worn out, so I didn't do it. But what I'll say is that for anybody who's considering it, they put an easy mode in here. It's like a Souls game with an easy mode, but the easy mode is apparently very well tuned because it's not stupid easy. Like, it still leaves, like, the default difficulty mode is like Neo or like Liza P or something like that, but then if you crank it down, you will definitely still die, but like apparently like you don't drop your XP anymore.
Oh.
Like you get to keep your XP for every run, and there's like a skill system in the game where you level up based on doing actions, and you get to keep those points. You don't just lose them if you die in a boss fight. So
that's so useful. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Because it does look really cool, so people should be able to play this game.
So actually, I don't normally do this, but having played the demo on normal, I'm thinking about doing the dojos on easy just to see what the difference is.
Yeah, we might just have to, just to see how it goes.
Yep. Let's see, another kind of weird, funky games. We got the trailer for Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree. This is another one that was at that Future Game Show, which is a kind of like a semi-Soulsy 2D thing. It kind of reminds me of those old... what was the company that made that Dishwasher Smile game, and then they made those Souls games?
I don't remember the name of them, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But like the thing that always I didn't like about those was that the art wasn't very good for them.
Yeah. The art styles were they felt like Newground games because of the art styles, even though they played better than what those would be.
Whereas this like really reminds me of a cross between like that No Rest for the Wicked, not necessarily that. Like it's kind of painterly, not that painterly.
Yeah.
And Trine, maybe? Like
I could see that.
With the three guys. Like,
yeah, I could kind of see that.
I kind of dig it. Like I kind of dig what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It has an interesting look to it.
Yeah.
And it's coming out on April 17th, the day after my birthday. So
okay.
It's like I need something good for my birthday.
That's fair. But hopefully it is good. Yeah.
Because I do like a good Metroidvania, even though I didn't finish that one, that Ender Lilies one, but I don't know. So it looks pretty cool. Let's see. From there, in a complete swerve. Well, no, actually, this is also a Metroidvania. We got the announcement of Gal Guardians Servants of the Dark. So, Michael, I don't know if you know this. I only found this out after a while. Gal Guardians, this is the second Gal Guardians game, and this is a Metroidvania game with these two lady characters. These new two lady characters, they're new. They're like these two maid-looking characters, like demon maids. But this is a spin-off of the original Gal Gun.
Oh, this is a Gal Gun spin-off?
Yes, because they have the two like demon ladies, but then the original two protagonists from the last game are the two ladies from Gal Gun. The one has the mask on the side of her head, the other one has the blue hair.
Didn't we play that game they did before that?
Maybe.
I remember us playing a game with those two at some point.
Yeah, I think I played it at some point because I was like, oh shit, is this a Gal Gun game? But it's not actually like, I mean, like the trailer has a part where they're all in a spring in their towels, and also like really just one or two frames of like the two main characters tied up in a very suggestive fashion by like a demon, but it's mostly just like a Metroidvania game.
Yeah, I swear we played the first one of this.
Let me see
on something. Sorry, I'm looking at it. I can kind of look it up, but
I have direct access to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, here it is.
Gal Guardians.
Me and you 2 years ago.
All right, there we go.
Gal Guardians.
Yep.
Yeah, we played this
March
2 years.
12th, 2023.
And we had fun with that game. I remember at the time.
So this is a sequel.
That's fucking fun.
Even though, and again, it's weird because when you look at it, it's more like a pixel-based Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly as like lewd as Gal Gun is. So
yeah, Gal Gun is just it's with some tweaks, it would just be a hentai game.
Yes. And March 27th, that came out yesterday, I guess. Digitally.
And there's a physical one in June, which is a strange thing to do, but sure.
I don't know. Maybe next week, now that you're out of the sequential Saturday dungeon, we got time to go back to do Patreon stuff.
That's true.
Throwing the weird shit back on the pile.
Might as well.
So yeah, strange. Because I saw this trailer and I was like, I know this game.
Yeah.
This is just random anime slop. I've eaten this anime slop.
Yeah, the second I saw the lady with the gun, I was like, I remember her.
Yeah.
Vaguely. And then it all hit me at once. So it's you. So I remember what it was.
Yep. Speaking of absolutely ridiculous games, we got the launch trailer for Kiniko Nico Super Muscle Cat, which is
I vaguely remember this
side-scrolling game where you play as a cat that then turns into just like the most buff giant Arnold Schwarzenegger man in the world, but with a cat head, like and only wearing a thong, but with a cat head.
Here's the thing, people. I know what you're hearing. You're hearing the idea that it's a cat a buff cat. That's not what we're saying.
No.
It is a buff human being.
Yes.
Like that you would see like Lou Ferrigno ass like fucking Mr. Universe.
Yep.
But his head is that of a cat.
Yes.
Is what we're saying.
But also, he acts like a cat.
Yes.
So he puts his hands in front of him like little cat paws from time to time. There's a point at the end of this. But then also a lot of his... there's no real easy way to say this. A lot of this game has a lot of... It's very gay. There's a lot of gayness going on here. There's like...
There's no other way to put it.
Dude's thong is coming off. Like a lot of his poses are very suggestive. But then this just looks like an absolute fever dream nightmare of a video game. Like,
yeah, it's hard to forget a game like this. I remember you us watching the trailer for it before.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Point at the end where he's licking his leg. But it's just like a cat head licking a hugely muscular dude leg.
Goodness.
It's very, 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 very weird.
It stands out.
Yes.
That much I will say about this game. But it does look like a lot of fun still.
Yeah.
Even outside of the weird ass premise it has.
Well, you can also just take a basic concept like a side-scrolling, kind of a side-scrolling action game, and then add in weird cultural stuff until you're just like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I kind of want to find out. Like,
oh my god, it kind of reminds me of those old like business cat comics because that was like a cat head.
Oh yeah,
on like the body of a person for the most part,
but also acted like a cat.
Yeah, but they like still had conversations.
Yeah,
so like, but there's no indication this thing has conversations or something.
Yeah,
but still, I can't believe this is a game that exists.
I don't know. It says in the launch trailer. I don't know if it actually has. Let's see. Is it out now? Might be out now.
Sometimes launch trailers come out like the week before.
Yeah.
So it might be out soon if it isn't already out.
I think it's out now. It's got a bunch of ratings. Okay. So
yeah,
it's got a 4.56 out of 5.
Oh, good for them.
So there you go.
What a crazy fucking concept.
Yeah, speaking of crazy, I thought you might be interested in this one. This is Captain Wayne: Vacation Desperation, which looks like it was drawn by the company that made that. What was that Wario style game that we played?
Oh yeah. I don't remember. The problem is I can't remember that one either.
Not Pizza Tower, but the one that was kind of like Pizza Tower.
It was like Pizza Tower. We had fun with it because it was fucking batshit insane. We
very difficult.
Had a very hard time with it after a while.
This one's a boomer shooter about this like pirate guy who is like one of his arms turns into various different guns. So like one is just a shotgun, and then one is like his whole fist spins around and all the fingers are barrels for a machine gun. He's got like a big cannon.
This looks really fun.
Also, you can't hear it because the sound is turned down, but I think that whoever's voicing the main character is trying to do like a John St. John Duke Nukem impression.
Oh, okay. I'm already interested now.
So yeah, you'll have to look it up to find out. But like another just kind of like, well, this looks fucking crazy. Anton Blast. It looks like Anton Blast drew a One Piece character and then put it in Fashion Police voiced by Duke Nukem.
This looks awesome.
And if you can follow all of that, then you're right up in the audience for this game. So even though it's just a wish list right now, it's like there's no like release date or anything. So
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Let's see. From there, we got some DLC for River City Girls 2. Bibby and Jimmy are getting put in River City Girls 2.
Oh my god, you can finally use them in the game.
Yep.
Was it Jimmy was so depressed in those games. I kind of am happy to see him being able to beat up people again.
Michael, I think you need to watch this because they are singing a duet about their involvement in the song. And was the blue one is Billy, right?
Yeah.
Keeps talking about like he at one point he's just like, and I like drinking milk, and then like Jimmy keeps coming back to like, what do you mean about the milk thing? And he's like, don't worry about it, and it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous as the song goes on. So
this is the type of Double Dragon content I'm here for.
Yeah,
because I always love the fact that every time you saw them like in the shops, that Jimmy is just hell depressed, and Billy is just like, I am so fucking happy with my life right now. And it's like kind of adorable because of it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that they get to finally be back in the streets beating people up.
Yep. They get their own little little DLC thing. So
I'm happy for them. Good for them.
Back in there. It was weird to me because I was like, wait a minute, aren't they already in River City Girls? And it was like, nope, that game had like one DLC, I think.
No, yeah, they were shopkeepers. They were in them, but just shopkeepers.
Okay, so it launched with the two girls, and then Marion and this new character, and then they added the River City guys in the first DLC, and now they added Billy and Jimmy in. So.
Which is just, I love that. Good for them. I love that it still has that, like, that Billy's just fucking happy. Just happy with his life.
Yep.
Jimmy's just like, I wish my brother was here.
We also got a very strange thing. So that Double Dragon Revive Arc System Works game that I
completely forgot about this thing.
Still think kind of looks like balls.
Oh, it looks terrible.
Got a pre-order bonus trailer, and the pre-order bonus is a separate game called Double Dragon Dodgeball that is just Super Dodgeball from the Nintendo, but like with Double Dragon coding on some of the characters. Like they even look like those characters, but and there's like a weird story mode, and then like a versus mode, and then like a free-for-all mode.
What the fuck?
But it's just Super Dodgeball from the NES Super Dodgeball, but with Double Dragon characters. I've never really understood the connection between River City Ransom and Double Dragon, because like their art styles are nothing alike, but they have some kind of.
I think it's a company thing.
Yeah,
I think it involves the company that just has the rights for them.
But like, this is a very strange concept for like, yeah, if you pre-order, we'll give you this weird NES game.
This game looks like garbage. I'm sorry. Like every time I see the actual game, it looks like garbage. But the Like I like the dodgeball thing looks fun. Like I would buy that separately, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the actual Double Dragon game itself just looks bad.
Here's the thing: is that I think it looks bad too. But Arc System Works, I like the work they do. Like
but they don't always make the games. So sometimes I feel like they're just like they just have their name on them.
Possibly, yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
We'll
to see.
Give it a shot whenever it comes out, I assume.
Yeah,
but like, who knows?
I just want more of what was the one that had the tapes in it?
Neon. Double Dragon Neon.
I love Neon.
Was perfection. And the fact we didn't get a sequel to that one is a fucking crime.
Even though that other one was pretty good, the roguelike one that came out.
No, that one was good too.
It was pretty good, but
those are all great because they feel like they're they feel like they're made with love.
Yeah.
Whereas every time I watch one of these 3D ones, I'm like, you guys are just like, well, what if we made it edgy?
Right.
And they all fail at it every time.
Yeah. Let's see. We also got the 1.0 and console trailer announcement for a game called Linked Banner of the Spark. I don't know why I kept this one in the list, but it's just kind of like a top-down like ARPG, but then with like some kind of city building component or some like crafting and stuff. But it's got a kind of like a cyber aesthetic to it. I don't know. It was just very striking as being like a real nice-looking video game.
Yeah. It's very nice looking. The arts, the design of the character itself really sells the game more to me.
Yep.
He's got like a bionic commando type arm.
Yep. You can like snatch like missiles out of the air and throw them, but also fish.
Yeah.
Like for cyberfish.
He's got a lot of charm to him.
Yeah. It looks God, I look at it and I just wish I wish that Nintendo would let a developer that could use like this engine make Pokemon would look great.
Yes.
As this.
It would look fantastic like
nice
this.
Sharp edges. So but yeah, this has been in early access for a little while, and it is coming in 1.0 and console on May 22nd. We also got a bigger trailer for FBC Firebreak, which I feel really bad about, Michael, because I think that a lot of people are going to skip it, even though all of the preview coverage seems to be like, no, it's really fun, you guys. I played it. It looks a little weird, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
And this was a mission called Paper Chase, where it was like, there was a room in Control, I don't know if you remember, where it was like all Post-it notes.
Yes,
and
I do remember that room.
They were replicating in this room, and you didn't really do a lot with them outside of fight Hiss. But this is like the Post-it note levels are going too high. You and the team need to go destroy Post-it notes. Otherwise, there'll be so many by tomorrow that it'll destroy us all. So part of this mission that they show is busting up Post-it notes, but then there's also Hiss that are fighting in there. But then they also show that you can get them on your camera, and then other people have to shoot them off you in order to clear them up.
That's fascinating.
But then as they go through this little mission, they show that if you get too many on you, that then you will die, but your character will turn into like a Post-it note man.
Oh my god.
Like a mini boss that
I
you
love
have to
that.
fight. And then at the very end, they show like the boss of the level, and it's like a giant room-sized Post-it note monster that forms out of just like a huge number of Post-it notes.
That's so much fun.
So
I always loved the whole fucking Control house. What was it called?
AWE, the oldest house.
The oldest house?
Yeah.
The oldest house is fucking fascinating.
Yeah, it's great.
Me. I love that.
I don't know. I'm really hoping this one works for them because of all the live service games. I want to play this one because I feel like the people that would play this will be okay with just having a good time and not get all fucking crazy.
That's the hope. That's really what I hope. Because I love Control, and I love the world that Control sets up. And I love the fact that it ties to some of my favorite things that they've done.
Yeah.
And I want to like this game because, you know, they've been working on it for a while now.
Mm-hmm. It's just the makeshift weaponry and gadgets and stuff are very weird looking. Like, it doesn't necessarily fit with the overall kind of corporate brutalist like aesthetic of Control.
Yeah, it's like the way Severance has that sort of like the way Severance is shot and looks like.
Yeah.
They look like they would be in the oldest house,
right?
Sometimes, and yet this game has like none of that. At least when it comes to the characters and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just fucking fascinating to me.
It'll be interesting to check it out. Let's see. We also got a bunch of other weird, spooky stuff. We got the release date trailer for "Do Not Press the Button or You'll Delete the Multiverse." This was a fun trailer because it seems like this is a don't press the button game. It's got all this narration stuff that we aren't hearing, but where the game keeps trying to distract you and like make you not press the button. And this trailer just has a lot of like, it's like very weird stuff where it's like little tests and stuff to try to convince you to like look away and like little distractions and stuff.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it looks really fun. It's very Stanley Parable energy, right?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing, though.
Me too. Stanley Parable was on PS Plus, right? Like a month ago.
It was, and I'm happy that people were able to play that game again.
Yeah. Because we had a great time with Ultra Deluxe.
I bought that and then just did everything I could.
Yeah. There's one thing where they're showing all the different stuff. It's like go on a date with a button, defend a goose in court fighting for chair freedom. They showed that one where it's like you and a bunch of chairs doing like a Braveheart charge against tables. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested. You have my attention, sir.
This game has so much energy that I'm happy with.
Yeah, so I
just
can't
destroying tables.
Just throw out a bunch of tables. It's coming out April 16th, which is my actual birthday on a Wednesday.
Fun.
Yes. We also got a trailer. This is a release date trailer for a game called Overtime Anomaly, which appears to be like a kind of a horror game, but set in like an office where you're staying late and everybody's going home.
Okay.
And you have like, there's like one guy, I think, from here where you can send them to like, if you see like anomalies, you call Frank from security. But I think that you have to be careful because if he's doing something and then something weird starts to happen, then like you may not have anybody to call on because Frank is investigating the last thing that you asked about.
Okay. That's fucking interesting.
So kind of like I think it's kind of an anomaly game, but then mixed with kind of the corporate or like an Among Us like chores game, but then also like escape the monsters and stay away from the weird shit that's happening kind of thing. So I don't know. We don't really see very much in here outside of a lot of kind of strange-ish imagery, and at the very end there's like a weird arm that opens a door.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
Yep.
That looks like it'd be kind of fun.
March 28th. By the time you hear this, it'll already be out. Actually, it's out today. It's out the day we're recording this. So, this is one that I really liked the look of. I think this one also came from that Future show called Quite a Ride, where it's a survival game where you are riding a bike. It reminds me a lot of like Pacific Drive.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too because it's like that but slower.
Yeah, where you have to like keep your phone charged, don't look back at the thing that is following you, and then like keep riding a bike like away from stuff through the apocalypse, and then you can like stop in places, but then there's also like the fucking tentacles and weird shit in the sky that's trying to grab you, and very existential kind of The Road style shit going on.
Really neat.
The Mist. At some point, the guy injects his phone because it's full of monsters. I don't know why.
That's so weird. It's like, okay, this is fucking fascinating. Like,
I love the look of it. It's just it's very kind of dry, and it looks really cool. It's got some craziness to it. At the very end, also, they showed that you can get a little dog to riding your on the front of your bicycle. But there's also a bunch of monsters chasing you. So maybe. Oh yeah, that was a good part where they showed the person on the bike basically just getting like from behind, ripped off the bike, and then going up into the air. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
So yeah, I'm very interested in this. It looks really interesting.
I like the fact that people are playing around with existential weird horror while you're just doing like a bike ride or a drive. I think that's interesting.
Yep. Also, we got a cinematic reel for a game called Final Sentence. I'm sorry we have so many trailers. It's just I kept seeing stuff and I was like, that was cool. So the trailer for this is a bunch of people at a typewriter, and there's like these masked figures that are shooting people in the head, and it's like this one guy that is typing, and apparently and then they show the rules, and it says 100 people in a room, everybody's typing, you have to keep typing, every typo spins the barrel.
Oh.
So I imagine this is like a battle royale survival game, but with like you're typing, you're just doing like a transcript of some sort. I don't know what the rest of it is, but like the idea of like hardcore survival typing is a weird concept.
I'm here for it though.
And it's called Final Sentence, and that's a great name. That's a great name for that game.
That's fucking awesome.
It reminds me of Shotgun Roulette or whatever it was, Buckshot Roulette.
Yeah, this is like actually this is probably my favorite concept for a battle royale I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like Typing of the Dead, the battle royale.
Yep.
I think that's fucking fascinating.
Yep. I don't know. It's interesting. Again, no release date, but just like a wish list.
That's really cool. I love that.
Also, here's another really weird one. Oh god, we gotta go faster. Must go faster. So this is a game that you play with a webcam turned on, and it's like a backroom style game with this big ass fucking evil open mouth grinny monster. The thing is that the webcam will find your face, and so when the monster comes, okay, to open doors, you have to have your actual face in front of the webcam so you can scan it.
Yeah.
To do stuff, but when the monster comes, you literally have to get out of your chair and hide under your desk, because if the webcam sees your face or your eyes, you'll die. And so when the monster comes, it makes you physically get up from your computer and hide under your desk. And I'm like, that is interesting, right?
That's a fucking awesome idea.
Especially for like streamers and stuff.
And I assume it lets you it has like an idea for why it would, like, it's to just not cover your webcam kind of thing, I assume.
Oh, well, I don't think the game can. Well, the doors, you have to open them. Well, of course, like, yes, you could probably cheat. But I also have the feeling that the description for the game said that, like, if your webcam goes dark, like, the game is just like, turn your webcam on to keep playing.
Okay.
Like, type of thing.
That's the thing I was curious about. Like, it needs to be able to see something.
Yeah. And they got a pretty crazy looking monster. So.
Yeah, that's really cool, actually. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Some cool ideas.
This is the thing about gaming, guys. This is what we need more of. Weird shit like that.
We got a release date for this game called Repose.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you and I saw this game.
We did.
It's like a 1-bit kind of like futuristic corporate sci-fi like survival game where you're kind of just moving around. It was like an old like Mac game or something.
Yeah.
And you're doing stuff. I know we're interested in it. And it has a release date. So
that's really cool because it was like a horror survival thing, right?
Yeah, there's like all these kind of like weird monsters and like space, like zombies and kind of crazy shit in this kind of like semi-futuristic looking thing. Yeah. So, and it's coming out April 14th. A lot of stuff in April.
Nice.
Stacking up the rest of the year. We also got the launch trailer for Look Outside. By the time you watch this, we'll have a dojo for Look Outside. This was a thing that Devolver just put out right away.
Oh, okay.
It's I think it's kind of based on a phone game, but it's like something has happened and the news is like, do not look outside. And so you were in an apartment building where like if you can survive for like 15 days, like the whatever the danger will have passed. And so it's like a kind of a JRPG. It reminds me of Sweet Home.
Oh, okay.
Where you're wandering around, but then like the people in the apartment building have kind of been turned into like these monsters from whatever is happening.
Yeah. So they all looked outside is the idea.
Sort of, yeah. But you also have to deal with like hunger and thirst and like boredom.
That's crazy.
So you have to like go back to your apartment and like play a video game and eat a TV dinner and get a good night's sleep in between fighting like these horrible monstrosities.
What a crazy idea for a concept.
I'm hoping that it's a little bit more. When we played it, the controls were really rough on it.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if that was something that I did wrong, but it was like, okay, you can only move with the analog stick, but not the D-pad, even though this looks like an 8-bit or 16-bit JRPG.
Yeah.
And then like attack or confirm. Every button on the face of the controller was yes, and then no or go back was the start button.
Oh, there's something that probably fucked up.
I think I fucked it up somehow, but it was really. It just made the experience not very
It
great.
just reminds me when I had installed the Spider-Man game on my PC and I could only swing with the start button.
Yeah. Also, the game didn't have a full screen option. Like I had to look up in the forums, if you hit F4, it goes full screen, but there was like nothing in the menus to let you do that.
That's so weird.
I was like, come on, I want to love you. We also got the release date for Morai. This isn't Devolver. This is another company, but it's kind of like a top-down action adventure thing with a lot of weird kind of monsters and iconography.
Yeah, I kind of remember the trailer for this at one point.
Yeah, very gritty. But we don't have time to really focus on it too much. Just say it's coming out April 30th. And then finally, we got the System Shock 2 25th anniversary Night Dive remaster / release date.
Oh.
Which looks like a much more vanilla remaster than like the original, because it's a lot closer to just being a modern video game. So it's easier to just kind of get everything sharper, get all of some of the edges filed off. And it looks good. I mean, like, I don't know.
That's great, yeah.
I never actually beat System Shock 2, even though I really like the first one. So
I never did either.
But May 26th? No, June 25th is when it's coming out. So yeah, head back to the Von Braun. Don't let anybody spoil you if you haven't been spoiled yet.
Okay.
Okay. Did you see this trailer, Michael?
I did.
Okay.
It made me very happy because those two had a falling out for a little bit, but it turns out they're friends again.
Oh, okay. So we got an actual PS5 release date for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and they celebrated by having Nolan North and Troy Baker sit down, and basically it took me a while to realize what was happening.
It was a really funny trailer.
Is that Nolan North is basically like giving Troy Baker the talk about what it's like to be an adventure game Indiana Jones protagonist.
But on the PlayStation is what he's telling him. He's
Yes.
like, welcome to the family
Right.
of hunter people on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking funny what he says.
Yep.
I especially love he's like, where did this house come? Oh, we broke in here, so we have to do this quickly.
Yeah, it's very funny. Y'all should go watch it.
It's really, really funny.
It's really weird too, because I've seen Troy Baker in a bunch of interviews, but I don't think I've seen Nolan North in person that many times. So
I got to meet them because they tried doing a Let's Play channel together.
Yeah.
At one point, I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Retro Replay at the time, and that was part of what caused their falling out apparently. But it was at an RTX, so I actually got to meet the two of them, and they're just as funny in person as you think they're.
there you go. April 17th.
I'm very excited.
April 15th in early access. So
I got through some of my backlog specifically.
Finally going to get a chance.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I might pre-order it because it's on pre-order now.
Oh, there you go.
So,
well, if you don't get that, we also got the announcements of April's PS Plus games, and one of them is RoboCop Rogue City.
nice.
Which is rad, and more people should play it. You guys should all play it. You guys should all play RoboCop Rogue City.
You guys aren't ready for how awesome this game is.
It's so cool, and I think a lot of people didn't play it. It's so funny because I didn't go to bat for that Terminator game that they made, but I was like, but you got to play that RoboCop game they made.
Well, because that Terminator game is like one of those things where it's like, it's the future and all these things, where the RoboCop game is like, oh, you are RoboCop.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't just like, this isn't because you're an original character in the Terminator.
Yeah.
One, as far as I know, but you get to be Alex Murphy and shoot people in the dick and get an achievement for it.
Yep.
And I'm happy for that.
Also, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Digimon story, Cyber Sleuth.
Oh, nice.
Minecraft got a big update. Like I talked about, it's got they had a big thing. I'm not going to go over a lot of it, but they've got a new lighting engine that you can use in the game called, what was it called? Vibrant Visuals. That has this new kind of like soft lighting engine that looks like it would work great with Minecraft because the sun now kind of casts reflections and they've got like textures and stuff on things.
Yeah, so. Minecraft was one of those games that I remember when ray tracing was starting to like really pop up.
Yep.
It was the first time I'd ever was like, oh, I get it now.
Yep.
Because you know that game is very flat. It doesn't really have exactly a lighting engine to begin with. But once you have one on there, that game is like night and day. Pretty much literally.
Looks great.
And I think that's fucking fascinating.
Looks absolutely fantastic. They also announced this new thing called the Ghast. So you get a dried Ghast, and then you turn it into a Ghastling, which is like a little baby, like
those little fly guys.
Flying like little ghost octopus guy. And then when it grows up, it becomes a really big one. And you can build yourself a harness and put it on it and then fly around on this giant happy square with the little tentacles on the bottom.
What a fun way of like adding a travel thing to it.
Yeah. And apparently it's got like these little goggles.
Yeah.
And that's how you tell if somebody's on it. Because the goggles are up, there's nobody on it. Because if you're looking from the ground and they're sitting on top, you couldn't necessarily see.
Yeah.
But yeah, cute stuff.
That's
Minecraft.
fascinating. Good for them.
All right. Fast. Cristiano Ronaldo is in King of Fighters.
I still can't believe that's a thing.
Do you want to know why? I found out why.
Why, actually? I don't know.
So the team that he plays for is one of the teams that's owned by Mohammed bin Salman, like in the Saudi investment fund. They bought them. They also own a controlling interest in SNK. And so I'm pretty sure that somebody was just like, what if my soccer guy was in your fighting game? And they're like, do it, nerds. We own your stock, nerds. Do it.
Oh, there was also because what soccer team does he play for?
Boy. Let's see.
Do we know? I don't know enough about football, soccer stuff.
The Al Nassr Football Club.
Okay.
In Riyadh.
If he's Hispanic in any way, this is the best day of his life.
Yeah,
is all I'm saying. Because Hispanic people love both King of Fighters and Fatal Fury.
Yeah,
this is a fact.
I mean, it's just so weird that it's just him. It's not like he's playing a character. Somebody else is even doing all the voice lines and stuff. It's just we put that soccer guy in that one King of Fighters game for some reason.
And you know what? I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
it's so weird, but I'm okay with that.
Let's see. Quick. Pacific Drive has a new update. Endless Expeditions. And one of the biggest things here is that you can now suspend a run in the middle of it. It used to be that you could only save at the beginning and the end of a run.
Oh, okay.
But now in the middle you can do it. They also have a kind of like a roguelike mode and a few new tools. Good stuff. I thought I was going to have more time at this point, but I didn't. Dragon Age got some free DLC.
Oh.
This is a series. Dragon Age Veilguard got some new DLCs. The Rook's weapons, and it's a bunch of new weapons that you get that are kind of like have a spooky theme to them. I know why this happened, or I'm pretty sure I know why this happened, and it's really depressing. There was going to be DLC for this game. That DLC got canceled when the game didn't sell well. These weapons were part of that DLC. Oh. They just put them out in a patch instead.
That makes sense, actually. That's sad, but it makes sense.
Probably that's why it happened. All right, Michael. Big Rigs Over the Road Racing is getting a Steam release.
Really?
Yes. It's been like lost media for a little while because it hasn't actually been on Steam.
Yeah.
But they're putting it out, and the company that's putting it out is putting it out completely with no tongues and no cheeks of just like, this classic racing game beloved by millions is coming to Steam and blah, 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 blah. So Everybody should go watch Alex Navarro's review of Big Rig Trucks from GameSpot from back in the day because it's amazing.
It's one of the most insane things that's ever been made.
I have to let them know that like in an era when you had video reviews, like full video reviews with like gameplay, and they cut back to the host, they would talk about the game, they would cut back to the game.
That's how it used to be.
That video from Alex Navarro was the entire video review of Big Rig over the top, over the rigs or whatever.
It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 has gotten one more delay.
Okay.
Set back to October of this year. It was supposed to come out earlier this year. They put out a little dev diary thing. What was interesting as the director was like, the game is done, but we want more time to polish it because after all this time, we want to make sure you guys don't get a garbage thing. So we're pushing it back to October. That's great. Have a Halloween release for your vampire game.
That's a great idea. I bet you that was the actual reason they did this.
Yes. Let's see. And then let's finish it up with some fun mods. Michael, I love this one. So the Kingdom Come fans are out there doing stuff. This new one just makes everyone in the game into skeletons.
Oh, what the fuck? Well,
So
why though?
Everyone is skeletons, but they still have their hair and clothes, and they still have all their mocap stuff. So this is a scene when these two bards sing a song about Henry in the game, and it just looks like the fucking Army of Darkness or something. Like, because everybody there is just a skeleton, but all the motion capture data totally works with skeletons.
Yeah.
So there you go.
like you can still tell what their thoughts are, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking fascinating.
It looks great. I think it's hilarious. I love the mod community for them.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. We also saw a mod for Skyrim. This was very weird. That was for that's called Serana, the Harsh Reality. So Serana in Skyrim was the vampire lady that you got as a companion in the Vampire Quest, and she's been in a coffin for like 2,000 years. And when she comes out, she looks like a fucking 17-year-old. So somebody decided to take it upon themselves to basically make her look like a ghoul.
Oh my goodness.
And then also to pitch shift her voice down so she talks in this very deep voice like she's been underground for thousands of years.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
None of these are my favorite mods for this week, Michael, because my favorite mod, I wish that Capcom had more chill. I wish that Capcom had more chill. This
fucking thing. I heard about this.
Have you seen it?
Well, because the entire Monster Hunter community would not stop sharing it.
Yeah.
Because it was horrifying.
So the little kid in Monster Hunter, what is his name? Nata or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's Nata.
Apparently he has this inexplicable moment where he sees a monster called the Arkveld or whatever.
He's the one on the cover, essentially.
And says, like, I'm not... That monster is me. Like, he is so kind of
He's
weird.
just like me, is what he's saying.
He's just like me. And so modders basically took his head and arms and torso and glued them to that monster, making basically the best thing I've seen since Chris Redfield Baby and Baby Chris Redfield, with this kid screaming horror face just pasted onto the top of a Monster Hunter monster.
So this is the most I've ever seen it move.
Yeah.
Which is because the one video I saw was him getting stunned and then like captured.
Yeah.
And it was as horrifying as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And it's way more horrifying seeing it in even more emotion.
Because they've somehow mapped all of the monster screaming and roars onto the facial expressions of like a 9-year-old child.
Yeah.
So
he is horrifying to look at. And his mouth opens and closes and everything.
Yep.
Oh
so
my goodness.
It's pretty amazing. Or the other option, Michael, is Palico lingerie, which is just a series of lingerie bottoms that you could put onto your Palico so that it looks like they're wearing stockings and panties.
But why though?
For you know why. You know why.
Oh my goodness. What the absolute fuck? You goddamn weirdos.
And that's our show.
Holy shit.
I feel like we did a lot this week. This is a big podcast.
Yeah.
You tell them where they can find you, Michael.
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movie, television reviews. I know there's a review for that new Jason Statham film on there now. I didn't listen to it, so I don't know what their thoughts were on
Like
it.
an ordinary man or
A working
something?
man, I
A
think is
working
the name of
man.
it.
Got terrible reviews. On
Yeah,
Metacritic.
apparently, so some of them I think like it, but I didn't listen to the review.
Haven't seen the reviews as bad since The Beekeeper.
But people love The Beekeeper, though.
That movie's so stupid.
It's very stupid, yeah.
Yeah, go check it out. And then, hey, if you enjoy these podcasts, patreon.com/RageSelect is where you can go to help us out to make sure that you get to hear more of these podcasts, because it takes a fucking billion years. And you guys can hear at the end of every one of these how I'm about to die of scratchy voice syndrome. So give me money for that so I could buy cough drops so I don't have as much scratchy voice syndrome. That's it. Get out of here. I mean, with love, but seriously, you got to go. You got to turn the podcast off. You got to go play video games. Only 8% of you are playing video games. Play more video games.